Yes. Yes. No, yeah. Probably not. I'm not really interested in speaking new languages. I'm not really interested in speaking new languages. I'm pretty comfortable with the one I'm fluent in.
Just make it up as you go along. I can say one thing in about 4 or 5 different languages, so.
What?
I could say one thing in 4 or 5 different languages.
You don't even know it.
No.
I'm trying to remember how Sammy did this all these years. Oh, wait, that's right. He never wrote anything down.
And he had somebody standing next to him pointing to whom.
Back here at Memorial Stadium, Central State 8 Game of the Week, the Saputo's Italian Restaurant pregame show. Downtown 8th and Monroe. Go visit Mike Coffey Jr.
And Kevin O'Day most
Kevin
of the time.
O'Day. I think he should be the assistant general manager down there maybe. It is Lincoln and Lanphier tonight on 96.7 The Boss. On the AM side, it is the Leonard Bowl 4. Derek Leonard and the Rochester Rockets against Ken Leonard and the SHG Cyclones. Roop, how about some of the other games going on in the conference before we talk and dive into this one here tonight?
Well, the big one to me, the most balanced game is Glenwood over at Jacksonville. That's the number 9 team in Class 5A against the number 2 team in Class 4A. Glenwood-Jacksonville. Glenwood's won 19 in a row counting a postseason game. Southeast has the non-conference game tonight. Southeast is home against Canton over at Spartan Field. And, of course, tomorrow we'll have play-by-play of the Taylorville-Springfield High game right here at Memorial Stadium, 1:40 pregame, 2 o'clock kickoff.
We will keep track on Twitter and all matter of social media, all the other games going on. And, of course, you can turn on Sam, Tim, Steve Bridge on the AM side. Sports Radio 1450 will have SHG and the Rochester Rockets up Route 29. And here it is Lincoln and Lanphier. The Lanphier Lions coming off a lopsided victory, or a lopsided loss, rather, last week. Group to Springfield High, game that you saw. Not a lot of bright spots for Lanphier. Springfield High looks pretty good. They've got a really good quarterback in Britton Wilkie.
44-12 was the score of that game, and Springfield High unveiled some new weapons. Wilkie, a very good quarterback, but they showed a running game. Williams and Burgess in the backfield really did a good job, and, of course, Wilkie runs for 75, and people celebrate because they held him under 100 as a running quarterback. Springfield High, good team, plays Taylorville tomorrow and then has SHG Week 3. Lanphier, it was not a great game for Lanphier. A lot of guys in new spots. Joel Thomas, a new quarterback, kind of feel his way through. Running back Detrick Mitchell got a couple carries. Reggie Dickerson, a sophomore, got some opportunities to run the ball. One of the things that happened early was the fullback Mario Smith got hurt early in that game, and that made him juggle a couple different things. Then Dakota Fowles, one of their veteran wide receivers, got hurt on the second kickoff of the second half, and he was gone. So they lost some experience right there, and they've battled some sickness this week, so they've got some different guys in the starting lineup this week too.
More challenges for the Lanphier Lions, although Fowles and Mario Smith will play tonight. They were in uniform and practicing during the pregame here.
But only playing one way this week instead of both ways.
Right. We'll talk about some lineup changes for the Lanphier Lions. We'll have the starting lineups. That's coming up just ahead. Also the coin toss here on 96.7 The Boss. Another 3-minute break. Back to Memorial Stadium after these messages. Three minutes. I'm going to do starting lineups here.
At this time,
I don't have the coin toss, so we don't know who the coin toss is. They haven't even done it yet, right?
Well, they've had it already, but they'll do it again.
Direction of band director, Miss Kitty Hose.
Well, I hate doing starting lineups when I don't know who the coin toss is, because inadvertently I'll always do the wrong offense or the wrong defense.
Anthem.
Hey, Rod. All right, back here at Memorial Stadium, the national anthem by the Lanphier Band just down in front of us. Here at Memorial Stadium, it's Lanphier and Lincoln. Both teams are 0-1. Jason Nixon is the head coach of the Lanphier Lions in his third year. 3 wins, 16 losses in his 3-year tenure. Of course, as we mentioned before the break, Lanphier coming off a 44-12 loss to Springfield High. Lincoln also 0-1. Third-year head coach Andy McDonald. 5-14 is the Railers head coach. Lincoln in the Central State 8 gym, 23 of 121 all time since 1993. That's a significant year because we're going to be witness to kind of some nostalgia here tonight.
Those guys are walking out on the field now, the 1993 Lanphier Lions, who won the first Central State A Conference Championship, of course, on the first week of the season. They beat SHC 14-10 in a game that nobody expected was going to turn out that way. Eddie Moore, the coach at Lincoln at that time, made the famous statement it was going to be SHG and the 7 Dwarfs in the Central State 8, and Lanphier comes out and wins week 1.
Well, SHG may be a cut above everybody else this year, but we'll see. The Cyclones playing Rochester tonight in a very important game at Rocket Booster Stadium. Here, a very important game for these two teams. The coin toss and the starting lineups coming your way in 2 minutes on Sports Radio, or rather on 96.7 The Boss.
The officials for tonight's game are Dave Figuera, Bob Schultz, Mike Dodson, Bill Dirks, and Ron Tisdale.
Starting lineups, nobody seems to have them.
Yeah, I got them.
I don't know why nobody's got them.
There's Jason's.
All these guys are starting. Those
Yep,
guys are starting.
the offense and defense.
Okay.
And there's Lincoln.
This here,
Yep.
I guess they just need the name. They got the roster. So. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. At this time, we would like to take a moment to recognize and pay tribute to Mr. Scott Fuller, a Franklin Middle School 6th grade history teacher, coach, mentor, and friend of many. Coach Fuller lost his battle with cancer on Monday morning. He was one of the most dedicated and loyal Falcons of all time. Scott's greatest passion was teaching and coaching the students at Franklin Middle School. He will be greatly missed. In honor of Coach Fuller, we ask that everyone observe a moment of silence.
Hey, you were talking to Jeff Thomas down there. What's he doing?
Teacher, he's an administrative assistant at Lanphier now,
Okay.
like assistant
Is he
principal.
involved at all?
No,
Oh, he's just down here kind of supporting things?
he's
Via the
walkie-talkie.
All right, back in 30. About a minute till kickoff. Chris McLeod alongside Jim Rupert, 96.7 The Boss coverage of high school football. Central State 8 game of the week, the Saputo's pregame show, and we'll get you the starting lineups here in just a moment. I know we've got an opening billboard we got to play here tonight to get all of our sponsors, those that pay to bring you the game of the week here on 96.7 The Boss. We've got great weather here, Lanphier and Lincoln.
Plenty of room for you if you want to come out, too. Not a very good turnout so far.
The bus isn't along Converse anymore. You can park right there. We'll be back in 1 minute for the first half play-by-play.
Years ago, our 1993 Lanphier Lions football team defeated Sacred Heart Griffin 13-7 in the inaugural Central State 8 conference game. They went on to become undefeated conference and city champions, as well as becoming the first District 186 school to make the state football playoffs. They will be honored at halftime of today's contest.
See, he didn't play it. And we're going to be Back here at Memorial Stadium, opening kickoff here on 96.7 The Boss. And the coin toss brought to you by Trinity in Taylorville. Roop, I'm going to say Lincoln won the toss and they elected to receive. They will receive tonight. And Lanphier will tee it up from right to left
Greg
in front of
Thompson,
us.
the kicker for Lanphier. And deep for the Railers is number 1, Brett Metelko. He scored their only touchdown last week against Jacksonville.
And the kickoff, it's a high drifter. Comes down to the 15-yard line, taken by an up back to the 20. Cuts to the middle of the field to the 30, to the right side, and then swung down by Mitchell on special teams. That was Detrick Mitchell, the 6'3 junior, who brought him down. Lincoln first down and 10 at the 29-yard line.
That was Brett Metelko on the return, got it up to the 28. 12-yard return, first and 10 for the Railers.
Starting lineups brought to you by X, Schaefer & Punk, certified public accountants downtown at 6th and Adams. We'll go through quickly the line for Lincoln. Eric Sutton, the left tackle. Nato is the right tackle. Connor Neitzel and Ian Neitzel are the guards. They are twin brothers. Ethan Kunkel is the center, and Austin Cruz is the quarterback, the veteran quarterback. Back on 3, Cruz throwing to the near side, in and out of the hands of wide receiver Keaton Letterly. The 5'7 senior couldn't haul it in. It was over his head, Roop, and dropped for no gain on the play.
Catchable ball, though. I think it was a little bit high, but I think he goes up and comes down with that. The defensive back gave him a big cushion, but he still couldn't come down with it.
Will Cook, the other receiver. Wes White and Sean Cannon are the wings. White is a senior. Cannon is a junior. Chris Duong is the fullback, the 5'9 junior. He lines up behind Cruz under his center, Kunkel. Man in motion, handoff, end around, and it goes to the wing back, and he takes it up across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Sean Cannon, the ball carrier on that one.
The 5'6 junior, 7 rushes, 15 yards. Last week in the loss against Jacksonville, also caught 4 balls for 30 yards. Austin Cruz last week, 9 of 19, 107 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks against what many people think could be a contender for the Central State 8 title, the Jacksonville Crimsons. First quarter here, 11:43 to play, 3rd down and 6. Cruz rolling to the left, throws on the run. It is caught. Shades a tackle across the 40, dropped the football, and then recovered it back at the 45-yard line. That was Wes White, the wingback, the 6-foot senior who made the catch. First down, Lincoln on a 3rd and 6 throw.
Picked up 12 in a first down. The Railers, 2 out of 3 plays, pass plays. Kind of surprising.
Defensively for Lanphier, the defensive end, Scotty Wallace and Diavati Ahmed, the 5'8 senior. Linebackers. Now, I'm going to run through these. Dom Hathaway, Caleb Crawford, Shane Conkrite, and Easy Nogabaraji.
He had a great game last week against Springfield High.
We'll call his name a lot. Cruz back on first down, throws, caught again, that time by White, across the midfield stripe to the 45-yard line of Lanphier, shading a tackle and picked up another 3 yards. It's a first down inside the 45 of the Lions.
Devontae Hall, this cornerback, came up and made a hit, and the receiver bounced off him. Wes White bounced off him and picked up more yards across midfield. He's at the 42.
Devin Dilly and Dakota Follis are the corners for Lanphier. Devontae Hall and Calvin Caesar are the safeties. Caesar will play outside linebacker. First down catch, 2 in a row from Cruz to White. Sets up a 1st and 10, 10:44 to play, first quarter, no score. Ball on the Lanphier 32, Lincoln moving from left to right. Ball near hash mark. Hand off to White this time, trying to get the outside 40, to the 30, has open field to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, inside the pylon, no signal, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
High tackle, touchdown saving tackle. White on a little misdirection. He came in motion from right to left and got the pitch and went around the left side, and it was clear sailing down that sideline.
Wes White's got to be gassed. The 6-foot senior's caught 2 balls in a row, and then he just picked up major yardage inside the Lanphier 5-yard line down to the 1.
Picked up 40 on that one. First and goal from the 2-yard line.
Lincoln with a very impressive opening drive here on the Lanphier Lions. Railers are 0-1, looking for their first victory of the year. Great weather here and plenty of room at Memorial Stadium for you. Three running backs. Cruz under center, turns and takes, gives it off to White, skates a tackle to the outside and a touchdown. Wes White was the workhorse on that drive. He carried it twice in a row, took it in for the touchdown, and 2 receptions on the drive, and it's 6-0. Lincoln with a lead.
Big backs led the way. They went up the gut. White bounced off to the outside, made it to the left corner of the end zone, got in there for the score. Raylor score at 10:06 of the first quarter. Wow, impressive drive.
So they'll line up for the extra point. Grant Cooper, the 6'2 senior, is the kicker. The holder is Keaton Litterly. And the ball is up. And it is no good, and I think it was a low kick group, and I think Lanphier may have gotten a hand on it. So the extra point no good, but Lincoln comes away with the first points of the game. 6-0 Railers, back to Memorial Stadium in 1 minute. Back here at Memorial Stadium, 6-0 Lincoln with the lead over Lanphier. And how'd they do it, Roop?
6 plays, 72 yards. Chris, 35 passing, 37 rushing. They took 1 minute and 54 seconds at 10:06 of the first quarter. Wes White, 2-yard run. Kick for conversion failed. Lincoln 6, Lanphier 0.
I'm going to say that was the best drive of the year for the Railers. The kickoff taken by Lanphier, 20-25 to the 30, 35 outside, look out, 50, 40 to the 35, shades a tackle, 30 to the 25 and down to the 20-yard line. And a big return by Calvin Caesar, the junior, all the way down inside the Railer 20.
I think that was 20.
I think that was 27.
Yeah, I think it was 27.
That's Calvin Caesar, according to the roster I have, and he
right.
showed his speed. And
took it at
with a little answer here.
Took it at the 13 and made it down to the just 17. No, where are they?
They're going to spot the ball at the 22. So his knees hit. He slid to the 20, but they'll give it to him at the 22. Nevertheless, a huge return of the Lanphier offense on the field with Joel Thomas as the quarterback. 2 running backs back there, Mitchell and Smith. Start the game, and to start the offense for Lanphier, a penalty as penalty markers come out, and it's a legal procedure against the Lions.
65-yard kickoff return there for Calvin Caesar.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but I'm guessing from what I could see, Lanphier had quite a few penalties last week.
Yeah, they got a lot of them in opportune times, especially in the first half. I think they had 65 yards in penalties in the first half.
5-yard penalty marks the ball back to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 Lions at the Railer 27. In the shotgun now, it's Thomas. Calls for the football, turns, takes, and gives to Mitchell, and he's swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. And 76, Seth Gleason got in there first to bring down the tailback.
Alex Noto's a big guy in there, too, number 72.
I should mention that, and we didn't do this, Staff Carpet sponsors all first downs, so we'll get those in.
Four of those first downs, 4 Staff Carpet first down, Staff Carpet first down, Staff Carpet first down, Staff Carpet first down.
Yeah, we satisfied.
We got all 4.
There we go. Here is Thomas in the shotgun, takes the shotgun snap, drops the football, picks it back up to the 25, 20, up the near sideline, 15-yard line, and brought down out of bounds by Keaton Litterly, the free safety. So positive play there, but again, shaky start to the offense for Lanphier after a big return On the opening kickoff for Lanphier, Calvin Caesar took it to the 20-yard line.
Joel Thomas picked up 13 down to the 13, so it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Lions from the 13.
9:07 to play, first quarter. Lincoln 6, Lanphier nothing.
A lot of composure there by Joel Thomas. After he bobbled that ball, just picked it right up and kept
right
going.
Back up to him. It was perfect. It was a picture-perfect bounce. Here's a handoff to Mitchell. Shades a tackle to the 10, bruising his way across the 10 down near the 7-yard line, and a staff carpet first down for Lanphier.
Big back there, picked up 4 on the first down. Dedrick Mitchell is a big guy running. He's the tailback is the bigger of the two backs for Lanphier. Mario Smith, the fullback, is a smaller guy, but he runs in front of Dedrick Mitchell.
In the shotgun, it's Joel Thomas, 5'9", senior at quarterback. Flanking him to the right, the fullback Mario Smith. Mitchell is the fullback. On the option, it is Thomas trying to cut it inside across the 10 and get back to the line of scrimmage. He might have picked up a yard rope as he took it to the wide side of the field, but he was brought down after a minimal gain there.
I think Ethan Kunkel, the linebacker, came over and knocked him down, made a good hit. Picked up 1 to the 8.
Last week, Joel Thomas, 2 of 5, 51 yards. The long, though, was 47, so 47 of those 51 passing yards came on one play.
Yeah, Scotty Wallace. I was getting on Scotty a little bit down there. I thought you were going to the house on that.
Here's Mitchell, breaks a tackle, takes it inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. And a pickup of about 3 or 4 on the play. Inside, we're coming up on 8 minutes to play here in this first quarter. It is gorgeous now. I told you during the pregame we're going to be glad we are up here.
No doubt about it. Perfect.
And we are not sweating.
Relatively still. The wind's not blowing our papers all over the place. We love it.
3rd down and 4. Ball at the Railer 4-yard line. Man in motion is Dakota Follis, up tight on the left. Shotgun snap taken by Thomas. Takes it to the left side and then crushed near the 2-yard line. He may have picked up 1 yard on the play. Chris Duong, the outside linebacker, the 5'9" junior, brought him down after a minimal gain.
Yeah, 4th down and goal from about the 2-yard line. 2-yard gain there for Thomas.
And you got to go for it if you're Jason Nixon. This is 4-down territory.
Always go for it.
Ball is spotted at the 2. 4th and goal at the 2.
Big back Mitchell. Watch him go over. Pound it over right side.
Scotty Wallace, the tight end, tight on the left. In the shotgun, it's Thomas. Handoff Mitchell, pounding his way over the goal line, and a touchdown for Lanphier.
The hole was to the left. It was open up to the right, but the whole opening was to the left, and he got it in.
You called it, Roop. 6-6 with 7:09 to play here in the first quarter. And Lanphier on the board. They'll try for the extra point.
Nice drive by Lanphier, all on the ground.
Craig Thompson will kick this thing. He should.
Dedrick Mitchell, I think, is the kicker.
Dedrick Mitchell's going to kick it. And the holder will be Danny Downey. Where's number 4? Snap back. Ball is up. Low kick, but it crosses over the upright. And Lanphier takes a 1-point lead with 7:09 to play here in the first quarter. Lions 7, Railers 6. Back in 1 minute.
Make sure you get some of the pay. Let's see that huddle there. Yeah, we just got the first thing. Hey, how long was that? How long was that kickoff? 65.
Extra point was good. Lanphier 7, Lincoln 6.
Seven to 6, Lanphier with a lead after a touchdown run of 2 yards with 7:09 to play. Roop's got the drive information.
7 plays, 22 yards. There was also a 5-yard penalty in there. The Lions used up 2 minutes and 57 seconds at 7:09 of the second quarter. Dedrick Mitchell on the 2-yard touchdown run off left tackle, and the point for conversion was kicked in by Dedrick Mitchell. 7-6 Lanphier, 7:09 to go. First quarter.
That extra point brought to you by friends of Jack Campbell. 7 to 6, and the ensuing kickoff taken. This time it is by Brent Metalco, and he takes it to the far side of the field across the 30 and across the 35 near the 40-yard line before he is brought down. So good field position again to start for the Railers. Roop, you and I did not see the Lincoln game last week against Jacksonville. It was a lopsided loss in favor of Jacksonville, but I'm going to just go on a limb and say that first drive by the Railers was easily their best of the year.
Has to be, yeah. They did everything they needed to do. They threw the ball a little bit, got 37 on the ground, 35 in the air, and they showed what they're doing. White looked awful good carrying the ball and catching the ball.
Austin Cruz, the quarterback, back under center. Actually, he'll stand at the shotgun and operated with a running back behind him in the pistol. And it's an end around, and this time it's taken by Cannon and takes it across the 40 towards the 45-yard line of the near side of the field. Brought down right there by the defensive back. That's Rashawn Jones, the 5'9 junior. After a gain of nearly 10 yards, that'll move the sticks and a staff carpet first down.
First and 10 Lincoln from the 45.
Well, Chris, I'd say so far the offenses are ahead of the defenses in this one.
You know what? I think everybody involved here wants a very competitive game. I think that these two teams need this game. They need this game to play against each other because win or lose, you might have a game that, who knows, comes down to the wire, and both teams playing well offensively at least here to start. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Cruz on the rollout, being chased, throws on the run. It is dropped over the middle, and it was Wes White who has been the favorite target both on the ground and through the air for the Railers today. He missed an opportunity there. Would have been a pickup of 7 yards, and the Lanphier coaching staff may have gotten a flag.
Warning, sideline warning.
Okay, so it is
That's
a warning.
What it's going to be.
Okay. Sideline warning, and the players are told to get back. Boy, Jason Nixon was out of the he was out about 5 yards out on the field.
I think that's his defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cruz threw that ball a little bit behind White. If he gets White in stride, Cruz rolled left, and then he threw against the grain to White, who was streaking right to left, and he threw a little bit behind him, and White got a hand on it but couldn't come down with it.
Hey, you and I can take our sunglasses off now. I think I've decided the sun is down. I just took mine off.
Speak for yourself, Hollywood.
Second down and 10, 45-yard line. Cruz will take it himself on the keeper, and no gain there. Maybe lunge forward on a second effort for a gain of about 1 across to the 46-yard line. We'll see where they spot the ball. They do give him a yard. And it sets up a third down and 9 to go. 6:05 to play here in a fairly fast-moving first quarter. 7-6 Lanphier with a lead.
I think that might have been a broken play. I think somebody was supposed to take that one, and Cruz got stuck.
Well, he at least got something out of nothing there. It picked up a yard.
He's strong. He's built like a fullback. Plays a little basketball.
Ball on the near hash mark. Third down and 9. Receivers to the right and the left. Man in motion. Back to throw. It is Cruz. Throws. Caught by Wes White again across the 40 and immediately dropped there. And again, it was Rashawn Jones who brought him down. Single coverage on the outside, Roop, and Wes White is having himself a game today. 14
more yards for the Cruz to White combination. Quick hitter. That quick slant, and he was between the defenders, and he got it down inside Lanphier territory to the 40, 14-yard gain.
Last week, 1 rush for 7 yards for Wes White. He's caught 3 balls today and has rushed it a handful of times as well. Has the only touchdown of the game.
Another staff carpet first down for the Railers.
1 receiver to the wide to the left. That's Will Cook. Receiver to the right as well. Back to throw on 3. It's Cruz. Throws. He's got his man. It is caught by Keaton literally on the near side of the field and ducks out of bounds just inside outside the 30-yard line.
Air Railers got it to the 34, gain of 6. Thought he overthrew White on that one, but the other guy literally was right there to make the catch.
Are you surprised? How you've been in this a long? I've been in this a long time. You've been in it a really long time.
Thanks,
the
for
difference between the 93 Lanphier teams and the Central State 8 today. The majority of teams are throwing teams. They throw it almost more than they run it.
And I appreciate that. I was always a guy that loved watching people throw.
Handoff up the middle. This time, handoff to Brent Metalco, the 145-pound junior, the kickoff return specialist, who took it up the middle across the 30, down near the 26-yard line. They'll spot it at the 27, and a staff carpet first down. First and 10 at the Lanphier 27.
Chris, new generation of coaches. They don't think that, the old mentality was 3 things can happen when you throw the ball and 2 of them are bad. Those guys don't buy it anymore.
Well, it's a quarterback league in the NFL. It's slowly becoming a quarterback league back in college, and that just permeates down to the high school level.
Yep.
Here is Cruz under center, one running back. Back to throw again. Cruz throws. It is caught on the outside by Cook. Makes a move to the 20. Trying to duck inside near the 15-yard line and then brought down right there. And Chase Hampson brought him down, the 5'9 sophomore, all the way across on the far side of the field. It's a pickup of 10 and a staff carpet first down.
Fourth. So far, the Lions haven't had an answer for the Lincoln defense.
It's a pickup of 12. I don't want to shortchange Austin Cruz. You know, Andy McDonald in his third year, he thought he had things going the right way a couple of years ago when he took over this program, and he had a pretty decent quarterback who decided he wasn't going to come out, and that kind of changed things a little bit. This year they're 0-1, looking for their first win of the year. Lions in the same boat.
Ben Brackney did okay playing basketball, though.
He sure did. Handoff up the middle this time, and it is Tim Jackson, the 5'10 junior, in the ball game at running back.
Failed again.
Inside 4 to play here, first quarter. Lanphier 7, Lincoln 6. Second down and 10 at the Lanphier 16.
Rapidly moving first quarter, inside of 4 minutes now.
And we all appreciate that, no matter what the temperature is.
But
we
it's
gotta
good.
We got to get to Saputo's. I heard Kevin O'Day's buying us dinner.
I got to go back and write a story, Chris. Thanks for that.
Well, you're right there, though.
Yeah.
Back to throw. It is Cruz to the corner of the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Lincoln. Will Cook with a touchdown reception of 15 yards, and the Railers take the lead with 3.5 to play in the first quarter.
Dakota Follis got caught inside. Great throw over the outside shoulder by Cruz to Cook in the end zone for the score, and now the Railers will go for 2.
They missed the extra point on their first touchdown. You know, I was talking to some people throughout the week, as I'm sure you do on a weekly basis, about all kinds of games, but the game you're doing, and people asked me about this game, and I said, you know what, I think it's going to be a very competitive game, and here we are at the end of this first quarter, and we've had 3 scores.
3 possessions, 3 scores.
Cruz under center. They're going to go for 2. A full house backfield. Cruz rolling to the right, throws. It is caught by White, and the 2-point conversion. No, he dropped it across the goal line.
They're saying it's good.
Oh, boy.
Bill Dirks, side judge, had it good.
He crossed the plane, and that was good enough. So the Railers convert, and they lead it by a touchdown. 14-7, Lincoln with a lead. 3:26 to play first quarter, back in 1 minute.
Cooper to kick off for Lincoln.
Back here at Memorial Stadium, 3:26 to play first quarter. Lincoln scores 14-7 with the lead, and Roop with the drive information.
9 plays, 65 yards, 3 minutes and 43 seconds at 3:26 of the second quarter. Cook with the, that's Will Cook with the 15-yard touchdown pass from Austin Cruz, and Wes White caught the 2-point conversion pass, and it's 14-7. Lincoln with the lead.
Cruz is looking like an all-conference quarterback
Yeah,
tonight.
he actually threw one incomplete that the guy had his hands on. But, yeah, he's looking awful good right now.
Second touchdown of the year for Cruz. Lincoln approaches the football, and they'll squib it now on the ensuing kickoff, and it's taken by an up back, and he takes it to the 35-yard line. Not a big return, but Chase Hampson, the sophomore, returned it about 2 to 3 yards before he was knocked down. Went a little more east and west instead of north and south on that return, but the Lions will set up with decent field position.
You know what? I bet you Lincoln doesn't kick to him anymore because Jack Anthony Childress, the guy that didn't return the first one, is the more dangerous of the two, and Caesar really made a great run, a 65-yard return on the first possession, so the Lions take over 1st and 10 at the 35.
Joel Thomas in the offense back on the field. Detrick Mitchell rather, and Mario Smith in the backfield. Now they'll send Smith out of the backfield in motion. Shotgun snap taken by Thomas. Takes it across the 35-40. Hold to the 50. 45, he's gone. To the 35-30. One man to beat 20. Up the far near sideline 10. To the 5 and a touchdown.
65 yards. Joel Thomas on the quarterback keeper.
A quick strike offense and special teams, and Lanphier 1 point away from tying it up inside 3 minutes to play in the first quarter.
That one didn't take long.
No. One play.
Very well done.
That.
Very well done. They had Mitchell flanked out, and they had Mario Smith was the lone back in the backfield, and he was kind of a blocker. He came up and set the
that was the key kick-out block.
It really
You're
was.
Right.
Yep, that was the one.
He kicked out the corner, and Joel Thomas took it up the seam for the touchdown. Extra point is up and good by Mitchell. And we're tied. We got a good one here. 14 all, 2:58 to play first quarter. Back to Memorial Stadium after these messages.
Thompson to kick off for Lanphier.
Tied up here at Memorial Stadium, ensuing kickoff 14-14, and it's taken by Metalco again to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, breaks a tackle 35 to the 37-yard line. Gang tackled on the far side of the field. Lanphier tied it up with one play, 65 yards. Joel Thomas, the quarterback, on the keeper end around, and he took it into the end zone. It only took
28 seconds.
28 seconds from the previous score. And we are tied at 14. I'm going to take those drive informations, those ones that I don't have to do any adding at all. Is that okay?
You struggled a little bit there to add that up, though.
I did.
You were looking at the clock, and you were going.
I was looking at the calculator. And so 4 for 4. Both of these offenses, 4 drives, 4 scores. And Austin Cruz's turn in the offense for Lincoln come back out on the field. First and 10 at their own 35, and the handoff to White. And he tried to bounce it outside, shading a tackle. Can't go anywhere, and then the rest of the Lanphier defense comes and clobbers him after no gain on the play. In fact, he may have lost a yard. That was dead from the very handoff.
Yeah, but he did a good job. Oh, Mario Smith coming out again. He got hurt last week early in that game on offense. And now the fullback linebacker, he's coming to the sidelines, and they got to send somebody else in.
Yep, and it'll be Easy Nogabaraji, 5'10", and a senior, wears number 7. And it was a big loss last week, Roop. You're right. It's a big loss this week if he can't come back, but he's noticeably limping, and he'll have a seat on the Lanphier bench.
Canton leads Southeast 7-6 after one quarter over at Spartan Field.
We'll get some updates as well on some of the other games going on. The Big Tilt over in Rochester, SHG and the Rockets.
Cover the pass here, Lanphier.
Second down and 10. Drops back to throw. Cruz has his man. Metalco caught it near midfield and then dropped immediately. And it was Devontae Hall, the 6'2", strong safety, who brought him down, but not before a gain of, about 10 yards and a staff carpet first down.
Picked up 12 to the 49. Another staff carpet first down.
Jesse, now John Staff is happy, right? Oh, we did not. I will say, though, extra points brought to you by Friends of Jack Campbell.
First and 10, Lincoln from the
for Sangamon County Sheriff, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Friends of Jack Campbell. They sponsor all our extra points.
I cannot be to blame for
John Staff is happy.
Here.
He's happy. I wrote him a check last week, so he's happy with me. Guy jumped.
First down and 10, and flags before the snap of the football. The legal procedure against Lincoln will move it back 5 yards.
First penalty on the Railers.
That'll put the ball inside the 45 of Lincoln at the 44. Really a very well-played, fast-paced game. I mean, this quarter's taking longer, but only because of 4 scores.
No turnovers.
No
Two
turnovers.
penalties so far.
And both of these teams hope that continues. Cruz under center on 1st and 15 now at their own 44. Fullback in the backfield, back to throw on 3.
Scotty Wallace.
Ball batted down by Wallace at the line of scrimmage. The 6'6 senior, outstanding basketball player, used his hops there and smacked that one away.
That's what the big guy is over on that side for.
Yep.
Swat down those passes.
And so it'll bring up a 3rd down, 2nd down and 15 at the 44. I think Adam Stark is back in the studios at Sports Radio 1450. We'll get some updates on some of the other conference games. The big one tonight, Chatham and Jacksonville. On 2nd down and 15, Cruz on the rollout,
Wide
throws,
open.
fires. What a juggling
Oh.
catch, and he couldn't hold on at the 40-yard line. Oh, that would have been a circus grab on the far side of the field by the fullback, Chris Duong, but he couldn't hold on. It falls incomplete.
No, that was Cook. Cook went up and got a hand on it and tipped it and couldn't come down with it. You're right. That would have been a great catch.
So 1:05 to play here in the first quarter. Tied at 14.
Canton 13-6.
I got to get my Twitter on here so we catch up with.
I don't mess with Twitter.
Zach
I just get
and
my
Brian.
my peeps get out there and they send me texts.
There you go.
Still living in the past.
You got peeps. That's good. That's
Bingo.
not the past. That's the future, my friend. Here's Cruz on a bailout
Oh!
throw and leveled at the 40-yard line. Holy cow, that was a hit of the year. You want to talk about a big, nasty Caleb Crawford
Waiting for him.
on the layout. And who was the one that caught that football? I was paying attention to the hit. I didn't see who caught the football.
It was number 1, Metalco.
Okay. And he may have to shake the cobwebs out. He'll come out of the ball game. It's 4th down and 19, so the first stalled drive for Lincoln of the game. A big, nasty hit by the sophomore Caleb Crawford, the inside linebacker.
Yeah, Cruz rolled to his right and
he
threw
really
it back.
laid
boy.
him out to dry. I mean, he had no shot there. Cruz in the shotgun with a quick kick. It's a high, towering kick. Takes a Lanphier bounce across back to the 50 and lands on the Lincoln side of the 50-yard line down near the 48.
9-yard punt.
11 seconds left here in the first quarter. Steak and Shake timeout. 30-second break. We'll be back after these. Shotgun snap taken. Give it off to Mitchell on the pitch around the right end. And he fumbled a football near the 40-yard line, and Lincoln says they have it.
Yeah, they came up with he fumbled it forward.
You cannot advance a fumbled forward if you're obviously the offensive team, but he did. You're right, Rupert. It was punched out from behind as Detrick Mitchell was on the end around, and Lincoln recovered it, so the Railers get the ball back at the 35, their own 35-yard line.
Ian Neitzel was the guy that came up with it.
We've got a couple of brothers playing in this game, Devonta Mitchell and Detrick Mitchell for Lanphier, and Connor Neitzel and Ian Neitzel, who just recovered that fumble, twin brothers for the Railers. So the Lincoln offense back onto the field. This will be the final play of this first quarter. Tied at 14 here at Memorial Stadium. 1st and 10 of their own 35. And Cruz back to throw. All-out blitz. Avoids the rush. Throws on the outside. Caught at the 40-yard line. Pick up of 5 yards. And that was Will Cook on the reception. And it is the end of the first quarter. Lanphier 14, Lincoln 14. Both teams will switch sides. We'll take a timeout. Back in 1 minute. tied at 7. Chatham, Glenwood, and Jacksonville. Jacksonville just tied it up. Bryce Schnittiger to Londrigan. The quarterbacks hook up together.
You know, the last play here, you call that perfectly. Lanphier with an all-out blitz. Conkright, the middle linebacker, just missed getting in there and getting a hand on that one. And Neitzel got, Cruz got that pass off, and nice catch by Cook to salvage something.
And it'll be 2nd down and 6 to go after a 4-yard gain. Ball at the Lincoln 39-yard line. Now the Railers move from right to left. Ball near hash mark. Man in motion is Sean Cannon. Back to throw. Now they'll pitch it to Cannon. Around right end of the 40, 45-yard line. Flag is down.
Going to get a hold.
And that will negate the staff carpet first down that he would have had. He got to the sticks at the 45-yard line. And it is against the Railers. How about the officials tonight? You can spot them from up here.
I know Dave Figueroa is the white hat.
Yep, that's right. I was, with Dave Figueroa. I should have remembered that because we were together last weekend, and he said he had the honor of doing this game. And he's moving around pretty good on that new knee that he's got.
Yeah, he pushed me off back onto the sidelines before the game. He was already enforcing things down there.
Mm-hmm. You can see him in his white hat. And he winds the clock with that big whistle. 2nd down and 16 now after the penalty and the 5-yard walk-off.
2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line.
Ball spotted at the 35. Man in motion for the Railers. Handoff to the fullback. Breaks a tackle, 40. Breaks another tackle to the outside, 45. Midfield. Staff carpet first down and a pickup of 15 yards by the fullback, Chris Duong. And
Dong has been in there the whole time, but that's his first carry of the day, and boy, he made the most of it. Picked up 16 down to the 49.
Tell you what, Rashawn Jones is all over the place on tackles for Lanphier. Another stop there for the 5'9" junior. And so Lanphier shifting some personnel up front. First down at the Lanphier 49-yard line. 11:08 to play in the first half. Tied at 14. Back to throw on the rollout. Cruz to the right side. Throws. It is incomplete. Too high. Intended for Keaton Litterly on the outside. Pretty good coverage there by Devontae Hall, the strong safety.
But, I'm impressed by the way Cruz is throwing the ball.
Oh, yeah. He's throwing it with confidence. He's stepping up in the pocket. He's stepping through his throws.
And he's throwing it to his guys. If somebody's getting a hand on it, it's his guys. He's not underthrowing people. He's not throwing it into defenders.
He's throwing it where his guys can get it and the other guys can't.
Yep. 2nd down and 10 just inside of midfield for the Railers. 11:01 to go, 2nd quarter. Tied at 14.
Lanphier leads this series all time 14-6, but Lincoln has won the last 2 meetings. Trying for a 3rd one here, tied at 14, 11 minutes to play in the first half. Handoff and around to Cannon. Trying the outside of the 50, brought down from behind.
It's your guy.
And he is out.
Rashawn Jones.
Right. We're going to call him a lot. Rashawn Jones, 5'9", and a junior.
Cannon had a full head of steam, and he was around the corner, but Rashawn Jones just came up and wrapped him up from behind. Nice tackle, no gain.
Those first 2 drives for Lincoln, it was the Wes White show, and we haven't seen him as a contributor in these last 2 drives for the Railers. 3rd down and 10. Lincoln football at the Lanphier 49-yard line. 10:33 to play in the first half. Play clock down to 5 now here at Memorial Stadium. Turns, takes, and a reverse, and it's fumbled on the ground, and Cannon falls on it. The exchange route between Wes White and Cannon, it was almost like Cannon didn't know he was getting the football, and it went on the turf, and it'll be a loss on the play.
Yeah, that you were just talking about Wes White, and he came in motion, and they gave it to him, and he didn't have it for a split second, and he tried to give it to Cannon. Cannon didn't run straight. Cannon kind of ran away from him, and it was almost a throw on the handoff instead of the put it in his belly.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. Sets the ball back at the 46-yard line now of Lincoln. 9:50 to play here in the first half. Lincoln scored on its first 2 drives. Lanphier scored on its first 2 drives.
See, this is the one part about this offense, these offenses that I don't like. This kid isn't deep enough to kick it. He's going to kick it. Oh, no, he's not.
He's not. He's going to roll. Now he is. It's a rugby-style kick. It takes it bounce to the 30 and then taken up the field by Childress at the 30, 35 to the 40-yard line. Shades a tackle, and Roop, when he gets in that pile, you just can't even see him.
He is as good a returner as we have in this conference.
5'3" sophomore, and he has some wheels. Lanphier football when we come back. 9:25 to play first half. Back in 30.
At the end of the first quarter in Rochester 14, Sacred Heart Griffin 0.
Back here at Memorial Stadium, Chris McLeod, Jim Rupert, 9:25 to play first half. Lanphier and Lincoln tied at 14. Lanphier football at their own 42. And it is Joel Thomas looking for some room on the end around the quarterback keeper, and he is dead to rights at the 40-yard line, swallowed up by the team of linebackers, and Connor Neitzel got in there last to bring him down for the final time. It's a loss of 3 on the play, Roop, and it sets up a second down and 13.
His 2 worst enemies on that were his teammates, because he ran into Smith first and bounced off Smith, and then he ran into Mitchell, and that slowed him down, and that enabled the defense to come and surround him as he lost a couple.
Chase Hampson is one wide receiver to the near side right. Slot right is Dakota Follis. 2 running backs in the backfield. That is Smith and Mitchell. On the shotgun snap, over the middle throws, and it is incomplete, way over the head of Follis, who actually did have a step on his man. And that was Will Cook, the defensive back, who's come in a reserve role on defense. He starts on offense and caught a touchdown pass earlier for the Railers.
Little deception there by Lanphier. He faked the handoff, a little play action, and then he dropped back. And they had good success with that pass to Scotty Wallace against Springfield High, but he overthrew Dakota Follis that time.
Clayton Smith is in at wide receiver to the right, the near side right. Chase Hampson is split wide to the left. Follis slot left. Mitchell also in the slot to the left. Thompson near hash mark, calls for the shotgun snap on 3rd down and 12. Little hitch pass caught by Smith, tries to break a tackle, 40 on the outside, and he goes nowhere again. And that time it was Wes White who helped to bring him down after no gain on the play as well, and a steak and shake timeout. 8:25 to play in the first half.
How about this one? After 1 quarter, Rochester 14, SHG 0.
Oh, at Rocket Booster Stadium. We'll take a timeout. Back in 30 seconds. Drake Berberet with a 37-yard touchdown run for the Rochester Rockets. As Roop said, 14-0. Rochester over SHG in the first. Matt Swain has already in this game 2 sacks and a tackle for loss for the Rockets. So we'll keep tabs on that one, or you can as well.
Injured player for Lincoln is Brent Metalko.
Yep.
He's being helped off the field. Looks like it's a lower extremity problem.
And we've got 2 folks walking him off. Either that or he got his bell rung, and he's not putting – it's not like he's limping, but he's certainly and remember, Roop, he's the one that was the recipient of that big nasty hit by Caleb Crawford in the first quarter. So he's had his licks today already.
He's had a few collisions. 4th down punting situation. Yep. Mitchell back in punt formation for the Lions. The deep man is White for
4th down and
Lincoln.
12. Ball's on the 40. Mitchell will punt it near his own 32-yard line. Low snap picked up, and it's a low kick, and it's angled away from White to the near side of the field. Goes out of bounds near the 39-yard line. 8:08 to play, tied at 14. And the Railers offense back on the field. They've scored on their first 2 drives of the game, a 1-yard run by Wes White. He caught 2 passes on that drive and took it to the 1. A 2-yard run by Dedrick Mitchell for Lanphier with 7:09 to play. It was a 65-yard kick return by Calvin Caesar that set that up. And then Lincoln came back, a 15-yard pass from Austin Cruz to Will Cook. The 2-point conversion was good with 3.5 to play, and with just under 3 to play 30 seconds later, it was a 65-yard run by Joel Thomas, the quarterback for Lanphier.
The defenses have started to figure the offenses out.
Pitch to Cannon this time for Lincoln. Cuts it back up at the 40, trying to get something. Got 4 on the play as he took it to the 43-yard line. And it will set up a second down. I'm going to call that a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6.
Cannon kind of broke off the play a little bit. He didn't follow his blockers, and I think that's what got him in a little bit of trouble. The defense was able to swarm and bring him down after the 4-yard gain because he cut it in when he maybe should have kept going out.
Lanphier in their home, orange jerseys with white, pure white helmets, white pants and orange trim, white numerals. Lincoln in their road, white jerseys with green pants, green helmets, and green numerals. Under center, Cruz turns, takes, and gives. Off to White, running to the left side of the line, and not much there. A gain of about 2 yards. It'll set up 3rd down and long. Or 3rd and manageable with 7:10 to play here in this second quarter.
3rd and 4 from the 45. White's a tough runner.
He is. And they've got some decent size on that line, but the line for Lincoln, junior, sophomore, junior.
A lot of inexperience.
Yep. So Andy McDonald's going to have a lot of experience coming back next year.
But his skill position guys are all veterans.
Lincoln trying to milk the clock here on offense. Play clock is down to 8. 6:42 to play on the game clock in the first half. Tied at 14. Ball's at the Lanphier 45-yard line. Actually, the Lincoln 45, rather. Handoff to the fullback.
Dong.
That is Duong, and he picks up maybe 1 or 2 on the play. Straight ahead run. He was stopped and brought down by Shane Concrete. 6'1", 175, and a sophomore.
They're at midfield, and they're going to go for it on 4th down.
So decision time here. Of course, they run that. Austin Cruz is the punter.
Well, he's under center.
He's under center. He probably would not punt. No, you're probably right. At the 47-yard line of Lincoln. A big play here on offense, and Cruz is going to try for it, and he did not get it.
Nope.
He did not get it. He tried. Lanphier's line stood up on that play and drove the quarterback back. A second effort, and he still couldn't get it, and Lanphier turns him over on downs, and the Lions have it with great field position with 5:47 to play at the Lincoln 47-yard line.
That's a long way to go on a quarterback sneak, Chris.
Yeah, it really is. The officials will conference here.
Rochester, it's now Rochester 21, Sacred Heart Griffin 0.
The public address announcer here just announcing to the crowd that Rochester scored again, and it's 21-0. Rockets with the lead.
Measurement. Who are our measurements sponsored by, Chris?
Measurements are, well, can you help read these?
Yeah, you got the
All
card.
right, measurements are sponsored by West Bar for Sheriff.
Okay. I got to make cards like you. I've got the one big sheet still, and I got it in all these other piles.
Well, you're
of
right.
papers
We're not
that I
used to
have.
that up here. We have no room up here. This is the
Lanphier takes over to be
we're channeling our inner Sam Madonia up here atop the press box, but I still think it was a good idea given the nice weather we got. It's clear.
And the Lincoln station is inside.
The Lincoln station is inside. We talked to Bob Verderber. He poked his head up here and was wondering what was going on. In the shotgun, Joel Thomas for the Lions. 1st and 10 at the 48 of Lincoln. They just turned him over on downs. Thomas is going to hand off. The big fullback, that's Dedrick Mitchell, pounds his way forward across the 45-yard line of Lincoln down to the 43. We'll try to get we'll give some updates here.
Gain of 4 on the play.
Another injured player on the field for Lincoln.
Auburn leads Athens 21-0 at the end of the first quarter.
2nd down and 6 for Lanphier from the 44-yard line.
It's actually 21-8 in the Sangamo. Drake Berberet, an 8-yard touchdown run for the Rochester Rockets, his second of the game, 21-0. 5:23 here in the first half. 14-14, Lincoln and the Railers. Injury timeout, Steak and Shake timeout, back in 1 minute.
As a reminder, all students planning on attending any home or away athletic contests are reminded that all school rules are enforced at these events. All students must be picked up no later than 30 minutes after your athletic contest ends. Failure to follow the school rules or pickup policy can result in you not being able to attend future athletic events at Lanphier High School.
Six for the Lanphier Lions, and the handoff again this time to the fullback, and it's the backup fullback. That's Reggie Dickerson, this 5'8 sophomore, who took it on the left side and gained about 3 on the play.
Yeah, 54 Ethan Kunkel went out for Lincoln during that injury timeout, and while he was going out, Detrick Mitchell came off for Lanphier. He's on the sidelines getting looked at by the trainer.
So Reggie Dickerson, the 5'8 sophomore, and at fullback, tailback rather. Mario Smith is the fullback. Dakota Fala split out wide to the right side, the wide side of the field. Ball inside the far hash mark. Receiver to the left is Clayton Smith, and a timeout on the field. Steak and Shake timeout Lanphier. 4:35 to play. Knotted at 14 here in the first half. Back in a minute. Just had my first Jersey Mike's this week. It was good. And Dave Figueroa wants the clock adjusted.
Play clock?
Must be. Yep.
Play clock to 25.
Yep. Play clock to 25. 3rd down and 4 to go. Lanphier football at the Railer 42-yard line. Joel Mitchell calls for the football. Maybe somebody jumped, no flags. Mitchell on the rollout to the right side, looking to pitch. No, he takes it himself, tucks it to the 40-yard line, and then run out of bounds. Metalco is back in there for the Railers. So is number 47 for Lincoln. That is Griffin Pollock, the 185-pound junior.
4th and 1, got to go for it here.
We have not had a score since the 2:58 mark of the first quarter. And we had 4 scores in a row in that first frame, but nothing here in the second quarter.
You know,
4th and 1.
A little bit of a pop-up on that snap sometimes out of the shotgun. It's not a good.
And Lincoln jumped right there on the hard count by Joel Thomas. And it'll be 1st down. Lanphier, a staff carpet 1st down on the Railer penalty.
Good execution there by the Lions. Go with that hard count and draw them off.
So if you are keeping tabs and listening to this game but want to know about other games, the last we know,
first down.
Rochester leads SHG 21-0 in the first quarter. Joel Thomas, shotgun snap, taken off, taken to Dickerson across the 30-yard line, and he pounds forward. Reggie Dickerson, the sophomore, really that was about the definition of a hard run. Just lowered his pad level and ran it down across the 30-yard line.
From the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he kind of tiptoed at the beginning, but it's like he saw somebody to run into and he saw blood. He really went after it. He really attacked it then. Equipment problem for Lincoln.
Yep. And they're going to send Seth Gleason, the nose tackle, off. He's got a headgear issue. And Ethan Kunkel will come back onto the field.
Yeah, he's the guy that came off injured. Lincoln's going to take a timeout.
Alex Noto also back in the game for the Railers after the timeout. Steak and Shake timeout. 3:12 to play here in the first half. Tied at 14 at Memorial Stadium. Back in 60. Score update for you in Jacksonville. Josh Talley with a touchdown run with 1:27 left in the half. Glenwood missed the extra point, but the Titans have a 13-7 lead over Jacksonville. Here, 2nd and 4. On the rollout, Thomas wide open. He had Scotty Wallace at the 5-yard line, and he overthrew him. It would have been a sure 6.
They set that up perfectly with the bust up the middle, the play action, and Thomas rolled to his left. Scotty Wallace just busted out from his tight end position right near the 10-yard line, had a shot at it. He just overthrew him. Scotty Wallace made a lunge after it, but he couldn't come up with it.
You're right, Roop. That fake to the fullback sucked that free safety in, and Scotty Wallace had no one around him. And it will bring up a 3rd down and 4. At the 28, here's Dickerson on the fullback keeper across the 35 down, or the 25 down inside the 20-yard line. And again, a hard run by the sophomore for Lanphier coming in a backup role.
We got to give some credit to those guys up front, though. They're really opening some good holes for Dickerson and for Mitchell and for everybody that carries the ball so far.
I'm looking down on the Lanphier sideline for Detrick Mitchell, and I'm not seeing him, but he's he could be in that pile over there around head coach Jason Nixon.
1st and 10, another staff carpet, 1st down for Lanphier. He's down there. He's right. See where number 2 is. Mitchell is right in front of him.
There you go. He's got his headgear on.
Ready
He's
to go back.
To go back in.
Dickerson's running good though.
Shotgun snap again. Dickerson again breaks a tackle and then runs into 54 Ethan Kunkel, who smacked him down to the turf, and that was a collision of 2 big bodies there. So it'll set up a 2nd down. Inside 2:20 to play now in the first half. Tied at 14. Both of these teams scored on their first 2 drives of the first quarter, and we haven't had a score in this second quarter.
Lanphier's had the ball about 3.5 minutes now, Chris. It's inside the 20 at the 16.
Boy, they'd like nothing better than to punch it in here before the end of the half.
Yeah,
2nd and 7. At the line, or at the Railers 16. On the rollout, it's Mitchell. Is he going to pitch it? No, he'll keep it. Turns it up near the 10. Reverses field. 5. Inside the 5, and then knocked down to the turf at the 3-yard line.
Once again, it was Mario Smith with that lead block out there. And then the play was made when Thomas cut it back up the middle.
I think Ian Neitzel was the man that brought him down, but not before a big gain and a 1st and goal at the Railer 2-yard line.
From about the 3-yard line.
Can Lanphier stay out of its own way here and punch it in for their 3rd score of the game? Joel Thomas looks to the sideline and Jason Nixon for the play call.
Mitchell back in. Mitchell back in there with Dickerson in the backfield.
A full house backfield, and they've got Follis to the left. Turns, gives off to Dickerson, running to the left side, runs into two Railer defenders. They had that one snuffed out well, and the charge was led on defense by Brandon Crawford, this 205-pound defensive end.
About the 3-yard line.
And they turn them back. And it'll set up 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Coming up to a minute left in the quarter. Lions with 2 timeouts remaining.
And they are milking that game clock here, taking it down. They don't want to leave any time for the Railers with a 2nd down and goal from the 2.
12 on the play clock.
2 running backs, 1 receiver slotted left, that's Follis. Left side wide out is Clayton Smith. Back to turn and hand off, and he gives it to Dickerson, and the sophomore plunges over the goal line for the 2-yard score.
I thought the left tackle jumped a little quick on that one, but the linesman was right down there, didn't call it. Touchdown Dickerson.
First touchdown of the varsity career of
he
Mr.
scored one
Dickerson.
he scored one last week.
Reggie Dickerson, so the 2nd touchdown for the sophomore, and the Lions take a 20-14 lead with 38 seconds left here in the first half.
Mitchell will attempt the extra point.
Dietrich Mitchell will try the extra point. Out of the hold of Dan Downey. The kick is up, and it is good. 38 seconds left, first half. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14. Back to Memorial Stadium in 1 minute.
Updated score from Rochester is now Rochester 21, Sacred Heart Griffin 7. Mitchell set the kickoff for Lanphier.
Two-yard touchdown run by the sophomore Reggie Dickerson gives Lanphier the lead, 21-14, and Roop with the drive information.
48 yards,
Wow.
10 plays, 5 minutes and 9 seconds. At 38.7 seconds, Reggie Dickerson 2-yard run. Dietrich Mitchell a kick for conversion.
And Chris Dong with the return took it down to the 36, make it the 34-yard line of Lincoln. Scoring update in Rochester, Gabe Green with a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Cyclones are on the board, 21-7 now. Rochester with a lead midway through the second quarter. 35 seconds here until halftime, until the Saputo, or the staff carpet halftime show.
1st and 10 Lincoln from the 34-yard line.
We'll run through all the scoring and some scores around the Central State 8 here in week 2. 1st and 10 for the Railers at their own 34. Cruz back to throw, under pressure, throws, and it's in and out of the hands and almost intercepted by Devontae Hall. It went, the intended target route was Keaton Litterly, and all of a sudden the Railers offense has come unglued a little bit.
Yeah, and they're getting some pass rush, Lanphier. They're putting some pressure on Cruz. He's not dropping back. He's doing mostly rollout stuff, but they were on top of him that time.
And the incomplete pass sets up 2nd down and 10 to go with 27 seconds left here in the first half. Railers trail it by 7. Austin Cruz, the 6'1 senior quarterback, breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage. Ball near hash mark, 2nd and 10 at their own 34. Man in motion is White. They give it to him off the left side, pounds across the 35, trying for the 40-yard line. Lineman pushing him from the back, and he gets away from that initial pile, Roop, across the 40 and takes it near the 45-yard line.
And stop the clock, most importantly. Hard
Got out
run.
of bounds, you're right.
Picked
Hard
up 11
run by Wes White.
Picked up 11 when he had stopped after about a gain of 6.
And a staff carpet first down for the Railers with 17 seconds left. You're going to have to get into field goal range or try to. Does you no good to take the ball into the locker room at halftime.
Well, they had so much success thrown at their first 2 series. See if they can find something opening up. Lincoln needs a timeout.
It is a timeout, a steak and shake timeout by the Railers. 3.8 seconds left. They burned a bunch after the clock stopped there. And we'll take a break. 30-second timeout. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14. Back in 30. Looking for a.
I got Southeast ahead 14-13 on that one.
You're right. That is it. Southeast leads Canton. What did I say?
It's halftime. Mahone intercepted a pass with about 50 seconds ago, but Southeast had a 10-yard penalty after the play. Southeast 8 penalties for 43 yards in the first half, causing trouble for itself.
All right, 3.8 seconds left. Last play of the quarter, and Cruz is going to roll out. Pressure from the backside, throws over the middle. It is incomplete over the head of Will Cook. Good coverage by Dakota Follis for the Lions, who go into the locker room up by a touchdown. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14. It's halftime here at Memorial Stadium. We'll take a timeout. Roop and I back in 3 minutes with a Staff Carpet halftime show.
Please turn your attention now to the center of the field where the LHS band is entering the field. The band pays tribute to Michael Jackson this evening with 3 of his #1 hits. Beat It, Billie Jean, and We Are the World. The band is conducted by Miss Kitty Hose with Lauren Wilson, drum instructor.
Stadium on 96.7. Leads the league still on the field. Now just the drum portion of it. Some of the numbers from halftime. Lincoln leads in time of possession, 14:02 to 9:58. The Railers have 12 first downs to 7 for Lanphier. Lincoln has rushed for 101 yards net, passed for 84, 185 total yards. Lanphier has rushed for 146, has yet to, they've completed one pass for no yards, so Lanphier with 146 yards of total offense. 3 penalties for Lincoln, 20 yards, 1 penalty for Lanphier, 5 yards, as we said, time of possession, Lincoln 14:02, and Lanphier 9:58. Lincoln has punted twice for an average in the ground, leading ground gainer for Lincoln. 5 carries, 55 yards for Wes White. Sean Cannon has 6 carries for 19 yards. Chris Dong, 2 carries for 18 yards. Brent Metelko carried once for 7. Austin Cruz, 2 rushes, 2 yards. And Tim Jackson, 1 rush for no yards. As we said, 17 carries, 101 yards, an average of 5.9. Wes White scored on a touchdown. The long run of the day was a 41-yarder by White. Cruz, 9 of 16 passing for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. His long is 15. White has 3 receptions for 40 yards, a long of 14. Will Cook, 3 catches, 31 yards, scored the touchdown. 15 was his long. Metelko, 2 catches for 7 yards, long of 12. And Keaton Letterly has 1 catch for 6 yards. That's 9 completions for 84 yards. Cruz has punted twice for an average of 19. Metelko has 3 kickoff returns for 56 yards. Dong returned 1 for 6. For Lanphier, Joel Thomas, leading ground gainer, 8 carries, 101 yards, a 65-yard touchdown run in there. Reggie Dickerson, 6 carries, 21 yards, a long of 9. Detrick Mitchell, 5 carries, 24 yards, a long of 13. Lanphier, 19 rushes for 146, an average of 7.7 per carry. 3 touchdowns in there, 1 for Dickerson, 1 for Mitchell, and 1 for Thomas. And the long gain was 65 on Thomas's TD run. Thomas, 1 for 3 passing for no yards. Mario Smith caught the pass, was dropped in his tracks for no gain. Mitchell punted once for 21 yards. Jack Anthony Childress, 1 punt return for 17 yards. Calvin Caesar, 1 kickoff return for 64 yards. Chase Hampson returned 1 kick for 7 yards. No turnover, 1 turnover in the game. That was a fumble by Lanphier. And Lincoln lost 1 fumble, but it recovered it. We're at halftime. 6 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first half. Lanphier cheerleaders still on the field. They're getting ready to honor the 1993 Lanphier football team. We're going to take another 3-minute break, and then we're going to come back from Memorial Stadium with scores from around.
The Lanphier Lions football team defeated Sacred Heart Griffin 13-7 in the inaugural Central 8 State Conference game. They went on to become an undefeated conference and city champions, as well as becoming the first District 186 school to make the state football playoffs. The Lions defeated Decatur MacArthur 26-8 in that first playoff football game, which started a run of 4 straight years in the playoffs, the most successful stretch in Lanphier history. At this time, let's meet the players and coaches in attendance tonight and show them our appreciation after all their names have been read. First, I'd like to recognize 2 members who have passed on and are now gone but now forgotten, John Day and Jim Smith. Principal Chuck Flamini. Equipment Manager Rich Bernard. Statisticians Gary Moser and Larry Bailey. Assistant coaches Joe Davis, Dave Schumer, Tom Vos, Omar Moore, Melvin Jordan. Defensive coordinator and later Lanphier High School Athletic Director Jim Casolano. And finally, head coach now in the IHFS FBCA Hall of Fame, John Oates. Now for the players that are here. Blake Turner, Chad Dethridge, Corey Erickson, the 4-year starting quarterback for Lanphier. George Wilson. Ed Killian, co-captain and Central State 8 Player of the Year. Frankie Kulovic. Nick Pickett. Tim Schweska. David Weiss. Kevin Beich. Robert Huddleston. Chad Ludwig. Co-captain Cecil Crawford. Corey Hankin. Justin Green. D'Artagnan Doss. Aaron DiNardo. Carl Ziegler. B.G. Hammett.
We're back here at Memorial Stadium where they're introducing the 1993 Lanphier Lions. They're being honored 20th anniversary of their conference championship. Lanphier was the first team to win the Central State 8 Conference Championship, beat SHG in the first conference game ever played on Memorial Stadium, and went on to win the league championship. Chris McLeod, you got some scores for him. Chris McLeod is listening to the Rochester SHG game. Here's what we've got with 3:20 to go in the second quarter. Rochester 28 and SHG 14. Do you have any other scores you can give us?
Yeah, it's actually 27-14, and it's 4th and goal at the 1-yard line, and SHG is trying to get in and score to make it a 1-score game or a 2-score game. Let me see if I can find some other scores as they are chanting the 93 Lanphier football team who won the conference 10 years ago, being honored here tonight.
Southeast leads Canton 14-13 at halftime. We know that one.
Okay.
Nick Rogers scored a touchdown late in the second quarter, and then Mahone intercepted a pass, but Southeast had to give the ball up there. They weren't able to score late in the second quarter, so they lead 14-13. Glenwood playing over at Jacksonville, and Glenwood led 13-7 the last update we had of that one.
Yeah, and I'm looking for it now, and I'm trying to find a score here. Usually Dave Kane's pretty good about it, so we'll check on that. And that, those two games, I heard you on the pregame. That's maybe the game of the that was supposed to be possibly the game of one of the games of the year.
Yeah.
And I think any game that Jacksonville's in is, between the top 4 might be the game of the year. This Rochester SHG game will go a long way to deciding what the next game of the year is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up in just a little bit. Let's see. In the first half, Glenwood's Josh Talley had 8 carries for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacksonville's Zach Londrigan, 3 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. At halftime, it is Glenwood 13 and Jacksonville 7, and that's a good game. So we'll tell you what, we'll take a 60-second timeout. We'll come back here. We'll get you updated on the SHG Rochester score. That'll be nearing halftime, and then we'll get you set for the second half play-by-play. Staff Carpet halftime show. 96-7 the Boss. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14. Back in a minute.
Back here at Memorial Stadium at halftime, Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14. The players are back out. They put 3 minutes back on the clock. Got an update, Chris McLeod?
Anthony Danello scored for SHG from very short yardage on 4th down. SHG kicked the extra point. It is 28, not 27, 28-21 with 6 seconds left. That will probably go into the half unless, of course, there's a run back, which is entirely possible, but that's a good game. We've got a good game here. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14.
All the games are
Southeast close. Was right
14
there with
to 13.
Canton. And then Jacksonville and Chatham 13-7.
1-score game there. All the games close.
Yeah, so unlike last week when it was blowout city, this week is a lot better.
And don't forget, tomorrow on Sports Radio 1450, we're going to have more high school football at 1:40. The pregame kickoff scheduled for 2 o'clock. Central State 8 Conference football, Taylorville at Springfield High, right here at Memorial Stadium. That was a scheduled conflict. Of course, Lanphier has the field today, so Springfield High will have to play tomorrow, and we'll have that one here on Sports Radio 1450.
Which honestly, I miss in this conference. When I first got here 13 years ago, we used to have quite a few Saturday games. Now it seems like every year there may be one, maybe two games that are on Saturdays. I mean, they don't even play homecoming games on Saturday anymore.
And, you know, I wrote about this in the State Journal Register. Why not, on a week when Rochester and SHG and Glenwood and Jacksonville play, why not play one on Friday and one on Saturday so people that really want to follow Central State A Conference football can go to both?
Well, I mean, I understand to some degree that, you know, you can't just at the last minute say, hey, you know, these two teams are good and we're going to, you know, I mean, I get it. At the beginning of the year, maybe you can kind of prognosticate and say, well, those are four of the best teams in the league, as opposed to week 8 where, hey, now we can really know, and maybe we don't want to switch it on parents who have schedules and all the rest of the stuff. But I do agree, though, to spread out the games. I mean, as a general thought, you know, maybe play a few more games on Saturday. I just think that there's just every game is on Friday night, and I know there's, you know, a lot of reasons that go into it, and I appreciate and agree that Friday night is high school football night, but in a season when you got a lot of good teams and a pretty good football conference, I agree that you should maybe try to look at spreading them out and, you know, having some games on Saturday.
You're getting better exposure for isn't it all about getting exposure for the kids, recognition for the kids, so you get an opportunity to have, you know, figure out which game is the big game of the week and just automatically schedule it for Saturday. You know what I can tell you what the schedule in 2015 is. Well, I can't now because of the Cater schools coming in, but they know the schedule in advance.
Right. Well, we went through. Roop went through the scoring, and in this game, the scoring was mostly in the first quarter. We had one touchdown in the second quarter. That was the 2-yard run by Reggie Dickerson to take the lead for Lanphier at the end of that second quarter. And we start now with Lincoln kicking off to Lanphier. The Railers kicking from left to right. Lanphier will move from right to left, and they'll send back Calvin Caesar, who had that big kickoff return of 65 yards to set up Lanphier's first score of the game.
Jack Anthony Childress is back there, and he's a game breaker.
We'll see who they kick it to here. And they squib it, and it comes down, and it goes right through the legs of Caesar, retreats at the 10, trying to break a tackle, shades a man at the 15, angles towards the middle of the field to the 20, cuts it back up near the 25-yard line, and a flag goes down.
Going backwards.
And it may be a hold on the receiving team. With
probably an illegal block in the back. That's usually what you see.
And it is against Lanphier. And Dave Figueroa says it is an illegal block. 21-14, Lanphier with a lead. They're on offense to start here in the second half. And they'll sort out, get this figured out here to start the offense here in this second half of play.
Which official gets to mark off the penalties? Don't say that one.
Mark off the penalties. I think isn't that the back judge?
Must be.
I think the back judge marks off the penalty because then he has to hustle and get out of the way after he marks the ball. It'll be first down and 10 at their own 15-yard line. Lanphier with a 7-point lead. Two receivers to the right, the wide side of the field. Smith, the fullback, now shifts from right to left. Hand off to the big tailback. That's Mitchell, pounding his way forward across the 20, up inside near the 25-yard line of the 24. And a pickup of about 8 yards on the play and a hard charging run by 6'3" junior Detrick Mitchell, the tailback. The SHG Rochester game has gone to halftime. It's 28-21. Rochester with the lead there. Second down and 1 after a 9-yard carry. Two running backs. Now Follis in motion in the slot off the left side. Comes to the right, tight on the right side. Shotgun snap, given off to Mitchell. Big hole on the right side of the 30, across the 30 to the 33-yard line on a staff carpet first down, but a flag all the way across the field near the 25-yard line.
I think that guy on the left side jumped. The left tackle. Sideline warning. No penalty.
32-yard line.
No penalty, just a sideline warning.
That's the second sideline warning we've had. First one was on Lanphier. And now a sideline warning on Lincoln. And the clock stops here, but the chains move and the staff carpet first down. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14, ball in the 32 of Lanphier. 1st and 10, Lions on the move from right to left.
That left tackle does a great job anticipating the snap count for Lanphier.
And they pull the tackle that time, and it's a handoff, this time to the fullback. That's Smith, Mario Smith, across the 35, puts his helmet down, drives into a pile of defenders, and takes it across the 40-yard line to the 41.
He was stopped about 3 times, but he just kept those legs turning, and he got it up to the 48-yard gain.
They need the 42 for a first down. 2nd and 2, 10:30 to play here, third quarter. Clayton Smith wide out to the left side of the field, the short side. Follis now in the slot to the right, up tight on the right side as he motions quickly. And a flag and an illegal motion penalty thrown on Lanphier.
They have too many guys moving at once, or did somebody anticipate the snap count?
Well, it had to be the anticipation because the flag was thrown before the ball was snapped. But that's the second penalty when Lanphier faced a very short for a first down, short yardage situation for a first down.
Third penalty of the game for the Lions, and 2 of them on this drive.
5-yard walk-off moves it back to the 35, 2nd and 7 now. Follis up tight on the left in the slot. Here's the shotgun snap by Thomas. Joel pitches off to Mitchell, trying to break a tackle. Hurdles the man 40, 45, 50, off to the races on the right side of the field, and he's knocked down out of bounds near the 40-yard line of Lincoln.
Joel Thomas looks like a completely different player from last week. He is so much more confident. That time he held it and held it and held it until the last minute. First time I've seen him pitch on the option, but boy, he made that read perfectly.
And how about the hurdle of Detrick Mitchell over a Lincoln defender? He was dead to rights. That defender had him in the open field, could not make the tackle, and a big gain and a staff carpet first down.
21 yards for Detrick Mitchell.
44-yard line of Lincoln, 1st and 10, inside 10 to play here in the third quarter. Here's the handoff to Mitchell. They'll ride the tailback, breaks a tackle across the 40 to the 35, down near the 30-yard line, and a 15-yard pickup again, and a first down, a staff carpet first down.
It's funny, you look at that backfield and you see the little guy, 14, he's the fullback, he's leading the way, and the big guy, 44, right, Mitchell, is the guy that's running out of the tail and picking up the big yards.
And they're riding him here. The last 3 carries have gone to Detrick Mitchell, who had 9 rushes and 77 yards and a touchdown last week.
And he's got 52 yards on those 3 carries, Chris.
Joel Thomas in the shotgun, flanked to his right by our tailback. Here's a pass over the middle, caught by Clayton down to the 20-yard line, inside the 15 and down to the 10 before he's tripped up. A big play by Clayton Smith and a nice throw. It was Joel Mitchell over the middle. He threw a strike and a first down.
Down to the 6, pickup of 25. First passing yards for the Lions today, second completion for Joel Thomas.
Lincoln had their best offensive possession, offensive series to start this ball game, and I dare say that this is the best Lanphier possession of the season. Lanphier 21, Lincoln 14, first down and goal at the Raylor 6. The fullback is Smith, shifting from right to left. Handoff to the tailback. It is Mitchell trying the outside, hops over a defender and bowls over the goal line. No signal on the touchdown,
side.
And he said he got it.
Bill Dirks on this side had it.
I think the side judge on the far side rope was wondering if his knee hit first. But Bill Dirks signaled the touchdown, and Lanphier takes a 2-touchdown lead.
That was a Detrick Mitchell drive.
It sure was. And he'll complete it here if he can put the extra point through. And the snap is back, ball is down, kick is up, and it is good. A Friends of Jack Campbell for Sheriff extra point. 8:55 to play in the third quarter. Lanphier 28, Lincoln 14 at Memorial Stadium.
Thompson to kick off for Lanphier. Motoko deep to receive for Lincoln.
Memorial Stadium, inside 9 minutes to play. Lanphier with a 28-14 lead, ensuing kickoff, and it's a high short kick taken on the far side of the field by Dong at the 30, cuts it up 35 to the 40-yard line, near the 45 before he's escorted out of bounds. So Lincoln with good field position, but Roop, a nice drive, an effective drive by Lanphier, and they have a 2-touchdown lead.
7 plays, 85 yards. Chris used up 3 minutes and 5 seconds, the first 3:05 of the third quarter. At 8:55, it was Detrick Mitchell on the 6-yard run. Mitchell had the kick from placement to make it 28-14. Lanphier has scored the last 3 times. The last 3 scores in the game have come from the Lions, and Detrick Mitchell leading the way.
8:48 to play, and you're right. Lanphier, or rather Lincoln, has not scored since the 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
Pretty good field position here from the 42 as they start.
Cruz under center. Has him down, and the lineman jumped.
Yep.
So a 2-yard run by Detrick Mitchell. It's the second score of the game.
That was a 6-yard run.
A 6-yard run, rather. Second score of the game. So a 5-yard walk-off for the Lincoln Railers puts it back to the 37-yard line. Two receivers to the right. Cruz under center. Give off. Big hole to Dong. He's got it at the 45 midfield. 45 to the 40. Cuts it back up 35. Giving chase to his Lanphier to the 30-yard line. And Dong tackled inside the 30. Down near the 28-yard line.
Outstanding run. Cut weaving through tacklers in and out. And boy, I tell you what, there was almost Will Cook wanted to throw a block in the back, but the defender or the attempted tackler really made it easy for him by weaving around him, because that was close.
Pickup of almost 35 yards on the run by the tailback. 8:30 to play here in the third quarter. Lanphier 28, Lincoln 14, but a big run puts the ball at the Lions 27.
36-yard pickup for Dong.
First down and 10. Cruz back on 3. Throws to the far side of the end zone. Caught by Cook, and he dives over the goal line. A flag is down. It could be offensive pass interference. We'll see.
He might have stepped out of bounds and come back in to catch it.
Yeah, but they would have thrown their hat, not a flag, if he came out of bounds. If he stepped out of bounds, I think. Dave Figueroa is going to go talk it over with his officials. It's coming back. Offensive pass interference on Will Cook. It was a great catch nonetheless, even though
pretty good
he
throw,
apparently,
too.
Well, yeah, and even though he apparently pushed off on the DB, he still had to make that catch in tremendous traffic, but it's coming back, and Lanphier will catch a break there.
But it's no longer a loss of down.
Correct. It's a 5-yard, isn't it just a...
no, it's a 15-yard walk-off.
15-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul or from the line of scrimmage? And don't ask me what the rule is in college, if that's true, and I can't keep up with all of it. I will say this is the first time I've done a game at Memorial Stadium here in quite a while. I like the new play clocks at either end zone.
Lincoln's got to hurry because those are running down. They're on 5 right now.
You're right. Cruz under center, Cook wide out to the left. And a flag for illegal motion. Will Cook was not done getting into his position on the outside as a wide receiver, and Wes White went in motion at the same time, and obviously double motion, that's illegal. And so Lincoln, who thought they had a touchdown, 2 consecutive penalties now, and they're all of a sudden looking at the ball being placed back on their side of the field. They had it at the Lanphier 26-yard line.
1st and 30 from the 47.
8:14 to play. The clock is stopped here in the third quarter.
B.J. Hill, 25-yard touchdown pass from Nick Rogers. TG for the 2-point conversion, no good. Southeast 20-13, 3:45 left third quarter.
Yeah, and that was set up by a Canton fumble on their first possession of the second half. So Southeast with the lead. Lanphier has the lead here, and their defense is stepping up. 1st and 30 for Lincoln at their own 47. Back to throw Cruz. Pocket collapses, rolling out to the left side, 50, 45, down to the 40-yard line. He's tackled out of bounds. It'll be a late hit on Lanphier. Cruz ducked across the 45 rope. He was angling and probably over the sideline, and he was tackled out of bounds, and that'll be a walk-off
That's
for
a
Lincoln.
tough penalty because Scotty Wallace had him from behind, and he kept running. I think that's a tough one.
Yep.
That's an
the momentum
tough
was
call.
it's and we hear this all the time on every single level. There are certain plays where the defender is at a complete disadvantage because there's no way that he can stop his momentum in such a short time frame to make that decision in a split second. But nevertheless, and I that is not to say that he was not tackled out of bounds. He clearly was tackled out of bounds, but it was a very bang play. But that is a huge advantage now for Lincoln, who was facing a 1st and forever, and now it's 1st and 10 because of the spot of the foul, and it brings it back to the 27-yard line. Automatic first down on the penalty.
No, it's still the down marker says second.
You're right. It was 2nd down and 10, not first down. They don't get an automatic first down, but I think it's a 15-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul, which was around the 40-yard line. A minimal gain there up the middle for the fullback. And it will set up a 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 9, Lincoln's got the ball at the 26, and they played bouncing all around on penalties on this series.
Keaton literally is the lone receiver at the hash marks to the right, throwing to the corner of the end zone. It is Cook, goes up and catches it, and they're going to give him the catch. Lanphier's looking around like he caught it out of bounds. His momentum was carried out of bounds by the defensive back, Devin Dilley, and they'll give him the catch and a staff carpet first down at the Lanphier 13-yard line. 18, rather.
No, you were right.
No, that's 13.
You were right.
From the 13-yard line.
Should listen to me. I should just listen to myself. Inside 7 to play in the 3rd quarter. Lanphier leads it by 2 scores. They've scored 3 unanswered touchdowns. Cruz on the rollout and the ball fake, being pressured from behind, throws in the back of the end zone. It was caught by Keaton literally. Did he trap it? No, they signaled touchdown. And that was a close play.
Yeah, that's a real close play. It's a great throw, though, and a great route.
There's no replay, obviously, in high school football, so the play will stand. It was a close play, but they said he came up with it, and Bill Dirks was right there. He got a good look at it. Lincoln answers and back on the board since their last score, which came late in the 1st quarter.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Wow.
It's 28-20 now, and it appears that Lincoln will try to go for 2 and get this back to under a 7-point game. They're going to have to either go for 2 now or later. And so Andy McDonald sends the offense back up. Full house backfield. Handoff to Cannon, looking for some room, trying to dive forward into the end zone. It was, I think you're right, Roop, a face mask. Bill Dirks is signaling the 2-point conversion was good from the near sideline. Dave Figuera.
I thought he signaled no good.
Oh, I thought he signaled good. It was a face mask on the Lions,
okay.
And that is good.
Okay.
6:40 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Lanphier 28, Lincoln pulls within 6. We'll take a timeout. Back to Memorial Stadium in a minute.
Once again, Lanphier wants to remind that all students planning on attending any home or away athletic contest are reminded that all school rules are enforced at these events. All students must be picked up no later than 30 minutes after the athletic contest ends. Failure to follow the school rules or pickup policy can result in you not being able to attend future athletic events in Lanphier High School. Roper to kick off for Lincoln.
Back here at Memorial Stadium alongside Jim Rupert, Chris McLeod, 28-22. Lincoln just scored. Lanphier with a 6-point lead, and Rupe has the drive information.
5 plays, 58 yards. It took him 2 minutes and 15 seconds. At 6:40 the third quarter, Keaton Letterly a 13-yard pass from Austin Cruz, and Sean Cannon with the 2-point conversion run.
And here comes the dangerous return man for Lanphier across the 30 to the 35, and it's tough to bring him down.
Jack
Man,
Anthony.
oh man. Anthony broke 3 tackles, and he took it to the 35-yard line of Lanphier. And again, decent field position for the Lions. So this has kind of been a tale of 2 quarters, if you will. 4 scores in the first quarter, and already 2 scores here in the third quarter. And we've got back to a decent ball game here, 28-22. Lanphier with a lead. And Joel Thomas back on offense, the quarterback. The sophomore, Dickerson, is back in at tailback. And Mario Smith remains in the game at fullback. Smith out of the backfield. Now he shifts from right to left and flanks Thomas. Ball goes through his hands on the shotgun snap. Dickerson picks it up on the run, retreats near the 20-yard line, make it down to the 17, and he's sacked all the way back there. A big loss of about 15 yards on the play, and Lanphier buried itself there with a miscue.
Lions did that 3 times last week against Springfield High. I don't know if Joel Thomas was not ready for the snap or if it was just that bad, but he sure wasn't prepared when that one came back.
It was not a bad snap. It went right through his hands, which was about face mask high. But you're right, it didn't appear that he was ready for it, and it went right through his hands.
2nd and 28. We've seen a lot of second and longs, first and longs so far in this half. Back to the 18-yard line for Lanphier.
Dom Hathaway, the guard, comes hobbling out of the game, and they replace him up front for Lanphier. 2nd down and 28 at the 18-yard line of Lanphier after the big loss. Back to throw. It's Thomas over the middle. Has his man. It's caught. 40, 45. Oh, no one in front of him. Midfield to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Drugged down near the 5-yard line. Actually make it around the 2-yard line. And it was Matthew Blakely, the sophomore, with a huge pickup of nearly 70 yards.
Wow.
There was no one near him.
Yeah, and the Railers made a nice recovery to knock him out of bounds, but they kept knocking him forward. I thought he was going to fall into the end zone.
He caught it, Roop, around, well, he
probably around the 30.
Yeah, about the 30-yard line, and then he ran it to the 1-yard line. The pass completion of about 5 yards, but they'll go down in the books as
80 yards.
80-yard completion. And Thomas turns, gives, and Dickerson walks into the end zone from the right side, and Lanphier has used the big play to keep the lead. Lions 34, Lincoln 22 with 5:04 to play here in the third quarter.
Big pass play that time.
They've done it with a big return of 65 yards to set something up. They've used the long run. Joel Thomas scored from 65 yards out of there, an 80-yard pass play. The extra point by Friends of Jack Campbell for Sheriff is no good, but the Lions take the lead or increase the lead, 34-22, 5:04 to play third quarter. Timeout.
Rochester 28, Sacred Heart Richmond 21. Lanphier 34, Lincoln 22. out for Lanphier.
Jim Rupert, 5:04 to play here in the third quarter, and Lanphier increases the lead with a short touchdown run by Reggie Dickerson.
3 plays, 64 yards, used up 1 minute and 36 seconds at 5:04 of the third quarter. Reggie Dickerson, 2-yard run, kick for conversion, failed.
Here's Will Cook taking the ensuing kickoff, dancing around. He caught it around the 20-yard line and returned it across the 40, about a 22-yard return for Will Cook. And the offense comes back out on the field for Lincoln. And this has been scoring barrages in the first quarter and now the third quarter. Just inside 5 minutes to play here in the third.
Lanphier went backward 18 yards on its first play and then went forward 80, and Dickerson capped it with a 2-yard touchdown run. Interesting.
Still 13-7, Glenwood with the lead. 6 minutes left in the third in Jacksonville. Cruz under his center. They send a man in motion. That's Cannon. Pitch to Cannon on the end around towards the near sideline. Cut down in the backfield. Nice play defensively by strong safety Devontae Hall.
Been good all night.
There's been a couple of defenders who've been real good.
Yeah.
For Lanphier.
3 and 8, both have been very good.
6 has been good.
Or 6, 3 and 6. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
No gain. It'll be second down and 10.
Rashawn Jones.
44.
Auburn's up 28-14 in their game.
We will name our Amberjack Ale House players of the game at the conclusion. Plus, we'll name a Subway sub of the game.
Yep.
Stay tuned after the horn sounds.
Second down and 10 at the 44-yard line. Cruz takes and turns and rolls out to the left. And he has a man wide open. It's Cook, caught it at the 40-yard line of Lanphier. Shades a tackle, 35, down inside the 30, still on his feet, and then gets another couple of yards. And Will Cook, who's been very, very good in that wide receiver spot. Another throw on the money from Austin Cruz. A big pickup and a staff carpet first down inside the Lions' 30-yard line.
Incredibly wide open, though. I mean, it's just unbelievable how wide open he is.
Southeast intercepted Canton. First play, hook up a 25-yard touchdown pass. The 2-point conversion was no good, but Southeast is up 20-13 with 3:45 left in the third quarter.
27-yard pass play. Cruz to Will Cook for the first down at the 29.
And they're back under center now. First and 10 at the 29-yard line. Man in motion. Cruz will hand off to Wes White, and he's swallowed up in the backfield. Caleb Crawford, the inside linebacker, helped to bring him down. And that's a big loss.
That one never got going.
Nope, 5-yard loss on the play. Auburn 31, Athens 14 now as a score update in the Sangamo Conference. And the end of the third quarter, that score remains Chatham 13 and Jacksonville 7.
Elijah Trumbo comes into the game at nose.
Cruz back to throw now. Throws to the far side of the field. Looking for Cook. It is broken up and intercepted, but out of bounds.
Jack
Good
Anthony
coverage.
Childress.
Yep, good coverage on the outside by Childress. And the Lions
Caught, but out of bounds. That'll bring up third down.
Force a third down and 15 now at their own 35. What did I say the Springfield score was? The Southeast score?
From the Lanphier 34-yard line.
Bobby Hill, B.J. Hill scored 20-yard touchdown run.
27-13.
Yep, 27-13. It's hard when you're on the world of Twitter because they have multiple people that are tweeting the scores.
I'll take your word for it.
I know. Someday you'll get into it and wonder why you ever didn't. Austin Cruz under center, third down and 15. Cruz on the rollout, looking to throw, throws on the run. He's got his man, falls a strike, caught by Cannon across the 35. He fumbled it and the Lions have it.
Took a hard hit right after he caught it. The ball bounced out and Lanphier fell on it.
Oh, he took a massive hit as he caught the football. It was just in time for him to hold on, take a step, turn around, and then he caught it right in the sternum, and the ball jarred loose, and the Lions recovered it at their own 24-yard line.
Number 7, you get to say his name.
Oh, you won't say his name?
No, I can't say his name. I would say it if I could.
Easy Nogabaraji.
Thank you.
5'10", 185, and a senior. There's nothing easy about that hit.
Nothing.
Easy, E-Z-E-E. And Nogabaraji spelled N-W-A-G-B-A-R-A-G or A-J-I. Thomas, how about that one? He's the quarterback for the Lions. Takes the shotgun snap, hands off to Mitchell. Running right side, runs through two railers, up to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play, sets up a 2nd down and 3. And he's been good. Boy, who do you choose as the Amberjack Steakhouse player of the game, or the Amberjack Ale House player of the game? They have good steak, though. .2:24 to play, third quarter. Lanphier 34, Lincoln 22.
Pick up a 7 for Mitchell there.
What is his yardage tonight?
I don't have it in front of me because I haven't been keeping the total, but I can get it.
We'll get it. You'll get it from somebody. How about
I'll
Gary
have
and
it.
Larry? Fullback, Smith, shifts to the right. Now big handoff, Mitchell. Breaks the tackle, 40. 45-yard line, tripped up at the middle of the field. Otherwise, Mitchell was off to the races. It was a touchdown-saving tackle by Chris Dong.
Picked up 17. Wow.
He's got to be over 100 yards. Wouldn't you think?
Yep.
He is a candidate for the Amberjack Ale House player of the game. So's his quarterback, Joel Thomas. Clayton Smith split out wide to the right. Dakota Fala split out wide to the left. Lanphier football at the Lincoln, at their own 47-yard line. In the shotgun, Thomas takes, turns, and gives. Off to Mitchell, stutter step across midfield, breaks a tackle across the Lincoln 45, down near the 40-yard line of the Railers. And another big pickup and a staff carpet first down.
12 more for Mitchell.
He's got to be averaging easily over 7 yards a carry tonight. He's been the workhorse in the second half. He has touchdown runs of 2 yards and 6 yards. He's well over 100 for the game. In the shotgun, it is Joel Thomas. Dakota Fallis split out wide to the left, now comes in motion tight to the left, and a flag down in the defensive backfield. And it was a legal motion. Inside a minute to play, Lanphier with a 34-22 lead. There have been 3 scores in this third quarter. A 6-yard run by Detrick Mitchell for Lanphier, a 13-yard pass from Austin Cruz to literally, and a 2-yard run by Reggie Dickerson, the sophomore tailback for Lanphier. 1st and 15 after the penalty. At their own 40, at the Railers 46. Pitch goes to Mitchell, puts his shoulder down, runs over the defender to the 40 to the 35-yard line, and ankle tackled across the 35 down near the 33-yard line. A pickup of another 8 yards for Detrick Mitchell. Think about the experience, Lanphier's got a mix of senior leadership and young players. Detrick Mitchell is a junior. Full house backfield now. Thomas turns and gives off to Mitchell. Again breaking. I mean, he just does not go down on first contact. That's just it. He neared the staff carpet marker and he got it. A staff carpet first down carry for Detrick Mitchell. And the Lions have it 1st and 10 of the Railer 28-yard line. And that'll be the final play of the third quarter. Lanphier 34, Lincoln 22. Rupe and I'll step aside. Timeout.
As students, parents, and fans, you are guests of Lanphier High School. The administration, staff, and athletes believe in the demonstration of good sportsmanship throughout tonight's contest. We encourage you to cheer for your own team and enthusiastically commend outstanding plays of both teams. We ask that you do not stomp the bleachers, and that you refrain from booing or making any unnecessary noise at any time. In addition, spectators are asked to remain seated at all times in order that others can see. Parents of small children are reminded to make sure children are with them at all times. The officials have been hired to administer the rules of the game and to make fair decisions to the best of their ability. We ask that you respect those decisions in a positive manner. Any spectator using profanity or displaying rude or unacceptable behavior will be asked to leave the premises. Thank you for your cooperation.
135 yards. Joel Thomas, 8 carries, 101 yards. Thomas, 3 of 5 passing for 105. He completed the 80-yarder to Matt Blakey. For Lincoln, 50 yards for Wes White, 55 for Chris Dong. Lincoln has 138 yards rushing, and Lanphier has 249 as we begin the fourth quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of these teams is going to win and one is going to lose, but you would think with the output of both of these teams that it's got to be a confidence boost no matter what.
Without a doubt, their offenses really have come through today.
Thomas in the shotgun, pounding his right foot, wanting the snap of the football. They finally give it to him, give it off to Mitchell. Breaks a tackle, backs into a defender near the 25-yard line. He ran right into Ethan Kunkel and then drug him for another 2 yards. Haven't seen a lot of action in terms of the scores of other Central State 8 games. Looks like it is still at last count SHG trails Rochester 28-21.
27-19 is the Southeast Canton score now. Southeast with the lead.
And at last count, it was Chatham Glenwood 13 and Jacksonville 7. Mitchell in the Thomas in the shotgun, and it's Mitchell. Big hole up the middle to the 20, breaks a tackle across the 15, down near the 14 to the 13-yard line.
He's doing his best ever Clemens impersonation. No deception. They're not trying to fool anybody. They're just sending Mitchell off tackle, and he's getting yards.
As of right now, he is my candidate for the Amberjack Alehouse Player of the Game. He is running hard. He is taking hits. He is not going down at first contact, and they have rode him here, rode in the third quarter. Talking about Detrick Mitchell. Lanphier football at the Railer 13-yard line. 1st and 10 of Staff Carpet first down and a Steak and Shake timeout. 10:52 to play. Lions want to talk it over. They lead at 34-22. Back in a minute.
Once again, Lanphier would like to thank the dedicated staff at Memorial Sports Care who provide sports medicine services for the team. Visit them today at memorialsportscare.com. A special thanks goes to Memorial Sports Care, the sports medicine provider for Lanphier High School. Whether you're a weekend warrior, occasional golfer, or a serious athlete in training, visit Sports Care for your active lifestyle needs.
Couple of scores from the Sangamo Conference. A final, Pleasant Plains 14, Sangamon Valley 6. Auburn leads Athens 37-14 at the end of the third quarter. Here it is 10:52 to play in the fourth. Lanphier 34, Lincoln 22. Lions on the drive at the Lincoln 13-yard line. It's 1st down and 10. They have ridden the tailback, Detrick Mitchell, the entire drive.
Over 150 now.
Joel Thomas, the quarterback, flanked to his right and left by running backs. He'll fake it, roll out to the left side, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Fell to the feet of Dakota Follis, and it will set up a 2nd down and 10.
That time he rolled to his left, and he had Follis in the middle, but he just underthrew him. Probably a good incompletion because Follis had nowhere to go if he catches that pass. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Lions from the 13-yard line. They look over to the sideline to get the play, and they send it in. No huddle.
2nd down and 10 now at the 13. Shotgun snap taken by Thomas. Handoff to Mitchell. Big hole left side to the 10. Cuts it up to the 5. Bounds into the end zone. And another touchdown, his 3rd of the night. Dedrick Mitchell from 13 yards out, and the Lions open up the lead 40-22.
Man against boys on that one. That was the best player on the field, showing why he's the best player on the field.
He's having a whale of a ball game, and the Lions, that may, I would like to say that could seal the deal for the Lions, but not the way this game has gone.
That one was set up by the fumble. Remember, Lincoln was in good position to come down and get within one score. They fumbled the ball away. Lanphier capitalized.
Mitchell for the extra point. He didn't get it over the line of scrimmage. It was blocked, but who can blame him?
Legs probably tired.
He was gassed. 40-22. Lions with a lead. 10:40 to play at Memorial Stadium. Timeout.
Thompson, the kickoff for Lanphier.
Back here at Memorial Stadium, ensuing kickoff, and it comes down in the middle of the field, and it's taken by an up back at the 30, across the 35-40. Far side of the field is scored it out of bounds, and on the return for Lincoln, it was Keegan Buck, the 5'11 junior. Return of about 15 yards on the play, and Lincoln will have good field position across their own 40-yard line.
Lanphier scoring drive, 9 plays, 77 yards, took up 4 minutes and 13 seconds. The final 2:53 of the third quarter and the first 1:20 of the fourth quarter. They went, as we said, 77 yards, 9 plays, used up 4:13 at 10:40 of the fourth quarter. Dedrick Mitchell, his third touchdown run from 13 yards out, kick for conversion failed. Lanphier 40, Lincoln 22.
When's the last time you can say Lanphier scored 6 touchdowns in a game? It's probably been a while.
Well, we saw when Everett Clemens played, they had their non-conference team game was a farce a couple years ago, and yeah, they put a whole bunch of touchdowns up that day.
The last time Lanphier beat Lincoln was September 17, 2010. It was a 34-27 victory for the Lions. They are looking to end that losing streak, that 2-game losing streak tonight.
Lanphier penalty for 5 yards. Not sure what that penalty was for, but it'll be 1st and 5 from the 47.
12 men on the field. Came from the back judge.
Yeah.
Either way, it sets the ball up at the Lincoln 47-yard line. Cruz back to throw, and he is sacked back at the 40-yard line, fumbled the football, and the Lions come up with it. And guess who made the hit? It was Easy Nogabaraji on the sack of the Lincoln quarterback, and the Lions turned the Railers over again.
And I think the big guy, number 64, Isaiah Trumbo, fell on it after the sack. Great play by the linebacker on the blitz.
Lions take over at the 36-yard line. Looking to shut the door here with a touchdown to put this game on ice. Joel Thomas, the outstanding, has had an outstanding game at quarterback for Lanphier tonight, over 100 yards rushing. Dedrick Mitchell's going to get a break, and the sophomore Reggie Dickerson's going to come into the game. He's scored twice tonight. Fullback in motion, Mario Smith now flanks Thomas to his left. Shotgun snap taken, give it off to Dickerson, dancing to the outside of the 35, down near the 30-yard line of Lincoln.
Lincoln defense has been on the field a long time in the second half. They're getting worn out.
They're gassed, absolutely. It's been Lincoln's played a great ball game tonight, and
gain of 5 on the play. And bring up
They're going to have to look at the film of this one. They have turned it over twice, 2 fumbles. Once on downs, a 4th down. Dickerson is going to come out of the game. He looks like maybe he got stuck in the hip a little bit, and that's not good news for the Railers because Detrick Mitchell's coming back in. He's well over 100 yards tonight.
Well over 150.
Well, that's over 100.
Yeah.
Mitchell will lose yardage there. And the left side, the right side of that Railers line blew that one up. Matt Barber, the sophomore in the game at 280, shut the door on that play. You know what's a positive too? You bought new shoes I saw this year. I don't have to. I don't have to look at those red Adidas that you wore for 4 years.
I still have those.
I like the selection.
I had those. I've had these too before.
Oh, okay.
If you did a game more than once every couple of years, you wouldn't see the same
well, I don't
shoes.
make the assignments. Play action throw. Thomas throwing over the middle, incomplete, intended for Dakota Follis. And it'll set up a 4th down and 6. The running joke is that I have not seen an SHG game in 8 years. They're trying to make it a solid 10, a decade of not seeing SHG. This is a good game to do, though. 8:58, under 9 minutes to play.
It's been a fun game. It really has. I mean, it's a couple teams are pretty even.
Weather's been great. There's been some passing and a lot of scoring.
And my shoes are good.
And your shoes are not red. Here is Thomas on the keeper on the right side of the line. Takes it on the end around across the 30-yard line. And down inside the 30 to the 20. About the 26.
Might be a measurement.
Pickup of
no.
Around 6 yards. Well, but yeah, they gave him the first down. 6 yards on the play.
They're changing. They're changing. No. They're
that
changing.
was 4th down. They
Lincoln.
didn't give it to him.
Lincoln,
right?
Yeah.
They didn't give it to him. It was close. Are they going to bring the measurement out? They're going to bring the chains
out. They're going to bring the chains out for the heck of it. And who sponsors the measurements?
West Bar for Sheriff sponsors the measurements.
That's
They've had 2 measurements. Sometimes we go a season without a measurement.
Yeah, but we still get in that West Bar sponsors the measurements even if we don't have a measurement.
That's right. He does. Do we do the Friends of Jack Campbell for Sheriff even if they miss the extra point?
If we need to.
Okay.
Last week we had a bunch of missed extra points. Hey, the guy pays for it. What the heck?
Exactly right.
Turn it over on downs. The measurement came up short. The West Bar for Sheriff measurement came up short, and so Lincoln will take over.
And we certainly appreciate all of our sponsors here tonight because they make it possible for Roop and I and John and Tim and Sam and Steve and Zach and Brian to do all the things that we like to do involving high school sports. 1st and 10 for Lincoln. They have to score on this drive if they have any hope. Cruz on the rollout, 1st and 10. Going to pump and then throw the far sideline. Picked up by Noga Baraji at the 35-yard line, and Lanphier gets the ball back just like that. 3rd turnover of the game on the Railers. And the defense continues to come up big for Lanphier.
And Noga Baraji's a good player. He's always around the ball.
Yep.
Something happens when he's there.
Are we going to see him on the basketball floor? I don't recognize him from previous Lanphier rosters, but that doesn't mean he's not a basketball player.
Don't know, but I'm learning how to say his name, so it won't bother me.
You better learn if he's playing basketball.
Yeah.
1st and 10 Lanphier from the
Lions
33-yard line.
Take the ball over at the 32 of Lincoln. That may have sealed the deal right there. Thomas, shotgun snap, takes it around the end to the right side, ducks inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Pick up a 4 yards on the play. It'll set up 2nd down and 6.
We have 2nd down and 5 from the 27-yard line.
This is all about using clock now for Lanphier.
Yep. And that's where the play clocks come in handy. And now they wind him. Dave Figueroa's crew. He looks good in that white hat. Can't see his bald head.
Wow.
Am I allowed to do that after 13 years?
No.
I know him well enough.
You can almost beat him in golf, so yeah, you can.
No, that isn't happening. That is not happening. He's a pretty good golfer and a good referee. Handoff Mitchell. Big hole to the third. 25-20. 15-10. Explodes to the end zone. Touchdown, Dedrick Mitchell. And that ought to do it.
Yep, going to be tough to come back from that one.
Lanphier 46. Lincoln 22.
4 touchdowns for Dedrick Mitchell.
Will officially name the Amberjack Alehouse player of the game, but I think we can all guess who it'll be for Lanphier. They've got some personnel issues now, and they were down a man for Lanphier, and Zach Hunter, the sophomore, comes bounding onto the field to try the extra point. Snap back, ball is down. This time Mitchell gets the leg through it and sends it to North Grand Avenue. Extra point is good. Lanphier 47, Lincoln 22. Steak and shake timeout.
Thompson, the kickoff for Lanphier.
Dedrick Mitchell has 3 touchdowns here in the second half, and it's 47-22. Lincoln with the lead. Drive information coming up after this kickoff. Metalco will take it at the 30, 35-yard line, angles towards the right side of the 40, and he's knocked out of bounds.
Metalco receives the kickoff for Lincoln.
2 plays, 32 yards, scoring drive. Took 52 seconds. 7:48 of the fourth quarter. Dedrick Mitchell, 28-yard touchdown run. Mitchell kicked the point after. 47-22, the Lanphier lead.
You know, there's been a discussion over the last few weeks about who's the best player in the Central State 8 Conference. And I think
First and 10 Lincoln from the 39.
That's a debate that will carry on all season long, but there are some really, really good players in the Central State 8.
Dedrick Mitchell's got 29 points tonight.
And how many yards?
About 175, no, almost 200.
Maybe 200, yeah. I was going to say.
Let's see.
Which would also be over 100.
Penalty against Lanphier.
We'll get the final stats from Gary and Larry after this, after the game.
Well, he had 135 after 3 quarters.
A penalty on Lanphier moves the ball up 5 yards to the Railer 44. Lincoln 1st and 5 at their own 44-yard line. Pitch to Wes White. Looking to the left side, has room, 50, 40-yard line to the 30, to the 35, 20, to the 10, to the 5, and a touchdown for Wes White. There was nobody on Lanphier's defensive backfield in anywhere near Wes White, and it's a 56-yard touchdown run.
Well, that's not the way to seal the deal for Lanphier.
No, that wasn't. I was caught way off guard. 56 yards on the run. Touchdown run by Wes White, who scored the game's first touchdown tonight. Lincoln will go for 2 here. 47-28.
189, by the way, for Mitchell.
189. So the Railers will break the huddle here, trying for 2. 7.5 to play here in the game. Metalco is the tailback. Give it off to Metalco on the left side, trying for the end zone. He did not get it. Tried to stretch over the goal line, but he was just a couple of inches short. So the Railers score on a big strike play of 56 yards. Lanphier, though, in command, 47-28, back in 1 minute. Well, Roop, that was a big play for the Railers. Get them back on the board. I don't know if it's enough. Maybe too little too late. They try to onside kick it. A very low line drive kick. Hits an up back, and the Lions fell on it. That was Alec Gansey, the sophomore, who recovered the onside kick for Lanphier. They take over at their own 45-yard line.
One play, 61-yard scoring drive, took 20 seconds. Lincoln gets to within 47-28. 11th touchdown of the game, Chris. Wes White, 56-yard run. The run for conversion failed, and it's 47-28 Lanphier with 7:26 left, fourth quarter.
I thought this would be a good game, but you didn't see this coming, did you?
Oh, absolutely not. I thought a good game might be 28-24.
Uh-huh. We've doubled that almost. Thomas in the shotgun for Lanphier. Turns and gives off to the workhorse Mitchell. Reverses field 40 to the 50. Open field 45-40. Breaks another tackle 30. It's Dedrick Mitchell across the 25. Shades a tackle 20. That's a huge run. Touchdown. That's his 5th of the game. Holy cow, what a run by Dedrick Mitchell. 57 yards for the big tailback. And that will seal the deal. I'm not sure what to say about that. Mitchell will try to catch his breath and kick the extra point. And once again, they're a man short. Zach Hunter is going to know that he's on the kickoff team, or the extra point team. Here's the snap back. The kick is up, and it is no good. Missed it wide to the right. It's the Dedrick Mitchell show for Lanphier. He's got 5 touchdowns tonight, and Lanphier leads at 53-28. Back in a minute.
Start of the fourth quarter in Rochester 35, second right Griffin 21. Thompson, they kick off for Lanphier.
He's throwing the curveball at him.
Well, Lanphier with a big lead of 53-28. They squib kick it to Lincoln. It's picked up by Cannon. He returns it 2 yards to the 22. But how about the night for Detrick Mitchell? This is the game of his life. He's got 5 touchdowns, and Lanphier leads at 53-28.
12 touchdowns in the game. He's got 5 of them. He's also kicked extra points after touchdowns. What a day.
You might not see a better run in the conference than that all year long. You might not see a better run in the conference than that all year long.
I'll tell you what.
That was incredible.
Power, speed.
He broke 6 tackles and made 5 cuts.
Yep. Saw the whole package there.
Lincoln under center, their own 21-yard line, 1st and 10. It's a backup quarterback, and it is handed off to Cannon. He spins off a tackle 30 to the 35-yard line, and down he goes. Staff carpet first down for the wingback, Sean Cannon. And the new quarterback in there for Lincoln is, I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing his name. I think it's Garrett Eitz, A-E-I-T-S. So Austin Cruz's night is done.
Maybe.
Well, it appears to be. And Eitz fumbled the football, and it is on the quarterback center exchange. I think Lincoln did jump on it, so they will retain possession. No, Lanphier says they have it. If they do, it's the 4th Lincoln turnover of the night. They wind the clock. It'll be Lincoln football.
Bring up 2nd down and 10.
And we do have a confirmation on that pronouncer. It's Garrett Eilts, A-E-I-L-T-S.
Oh, the Eilts, but Donnie Eilts was an assistant coach for a long time.
Okay. I was missing the L when I was looking down. The lighting up here is getting a little, well, at least for my eyes anyway.
Delay a game against Lincoln.
Well, it looks like, from what I can tell,
Penalty against Lincoln for delay of game.
it is still 13-7 Jackson or Glenwood with a lead. Glenwood lost a fumble at the Jacksonville 6, but then Jacksonville on the very next play fumbled it right back.
Rochester
30 left.
Rochester 35-21, 11:36 to go in the 4th quarter. Southeast 34-19. B.J. Hill intercepted a pass and took it to the house.
Glenwood missed a 22-yard field goal. We'll tell you about it after this play. Handoff, end around. That looked like Wes White across the 35 up to the 40 to the 42-yard line. Glenwood missed a 22-yard field goal try with 3:04 left.
Southeast 34-19 final.
3rd down and 5 from the 41.
21-7. Another touchdown run by Josh Talley for Glenwood, so it's 21-7. Glenwood with a lead. 14-yard touchdown run. Fourth quarter.
Another bad snap. Iles was able to keep it.
And James Rucker got in there, hit the quarterback pretty hard. Evan Semble scored for Rochester, a 1-yard run on his first carry of the game. Rochester up 2 touchdowns, 35-21.
4th down and 5 from the 41 for Lincoln.
4th and 5, here's the game right here. Lincoln 4th and 5 from the 41. Iles goes over and gets the play, comes back into the huddle. Under 10 seconds on the play clock. Does he know that? Yep.
4 seconds left on that play clock. 4.5 to play here in the game. Iles back to throw. Looking to throw. Left-hander zings it, and it is tipped up in the air. Almost intercepted.
Lincoln's pass is incomplete.
Almost intercepted by Iga Nogabaraji, but it fell incomplete. And
they turn it over on downs.
Turned it over on downs for the second time tonight. Lanphier will come out. They need a long drive here to put this game away. 53-28. We'll have to go back and look at some of those scores, Roop, but this has got to be one of the best outputs for Lanphier's football team offensively in 5 years.
Well, Central State A, yeah.
Well, yeah, all time probably. I mean,
that's a lot of
the
points.
Nico Scotts, the Adamola teams, they put up some numbers, but
53
points is a lot
of
for
points.
any high school team. An offensive.
Downey is in there at quarterback now.
Yep, Danny Downey, the 6-foot junior, takes the shotgun snap, high pulls it down, gives it off to a backup tailback. That's 48. That's Corey Anderson, the 5'9" sophomore. Zach Hunter is in there as a lineman. Devin Dilley, the junior, is in there as a wide receiver for Lanphier. Bates, a junior wide receiver, wears number 9 in for Lanphier as well.
Penalties declined. It'll be second down.
And it was a penalty on Lincoln. Or Lanphier, rather. The penalty was declined. Second down and 5 now at the 37-yard line. High snap, again, pulled down by Downey. Gives it off to the tailback, breaks a tackle to the 40, and then slammed down at the 30-yard line. Corey Anderson on the carry again. A staff carpet, well, near a staff carpet first down. They will move the chains.
That'll be enough for a first down. First and 10.
Final in the Sangamo Conference, Auburn 44, Athens 14. It is a final in Jacksonville. Glenwood wins it 21-7, so Jacksonville with its first loss. And
20 wins in a row by Glenwood over Jacksonville.
This is what you're concerned about. This is what you're always concerned about when you talk about Jacksonville. You talked about it in the press box as a flag went down before the snap of the football. They have to get a win against a big marquee team that isn't named SHG and isn't in the postseason.
Yeah.
And they have not been able to do it.
No, and that means when you got 3 or 4 or 5 losses that you got to travel in the postseason, and there are just a lot of things, ways you complicate matters by not taking care of business in your league.
There's a timeout on the field here. We'll keep it here, 53-28, Lanphier over Lincoln. What amazes me is, we talk about it. I think it's kind of an unspoken conversation among fans of the Central State 8 that there are 2 teams that appear to not have any fear of the Cyclones of SHG, and that's Rochester and Jacksonville. But Jacksonville seems to have
tremendous
some trepidation against Chatham Glenwood
and Springfield High.
So that's a big win for Chatham Glenwood on the road.
Oh,
that is a huge win for Dan
Rourke
on his birthday.
Yep.
Here's the handoff to
Anderson again
across the 25 down near the 20-yard line. I think it's Gabe Green's birthday too today. Can the Cyclones pull out a win on Gabe Green's birthday? At last count, Rochester led 35-21. Steve Bridge reported it wasn't even close to being over. Here it's 53-28. Lanphier has had an offensive coming out party tonight.
So what you're saying is it's not over until Steve Bridge says so.
Well, he's not a fat lady, but yeah, pretty much. Danny Downey is the quarterback for Lanphier. They have it at the Lincoln 22-yard line, second down and 2. 2 running backs in the backfield. Pitch to Anderson. Caught it with one hand. Juggled it. Ball loose on the floor. Picks it up. Scoops it. Takes it up the far sideline. 20 to the 15 to the 10. Down near the 5-yard line. And he's out of bounds near the 1-yard line.
He caught that. He dribbled that. He ran that. He juked with it. He did everything but get in the end zone.
The pitch was wide. He caught it with his left hand. He stretched out. He juggled it for about 5 yards. The ball fell on the turf. It bounced right back up to him. He caught it. He shaded a tackle. He ran it 15 yards, and he stepped out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
Another staff carpet first down.
First and goal at the 8.
That's back, Judge. It's not delay. Illegal participation. Lincoln's got too many guys out there. They got 12 on the field.
Rochester is up 38-21. Grant Fitzsimmons with a 27-yard field goal for the Rockets. 9:10 left in the game. Might be the first field goal try Derek Leonard's team has tried in almost a year.
Didn't Perry have some field goals? Anderson
with a carry off the left side. Bowls his way into the end zone for a touchdown. 59-28. Lanphier is going to go over, get to the 60 mark with an extra point. Perry was a good field goal kicker for Rochester. Grant Fitzsimmons is a good field goal kicker.
Yeah.
They just don't try it very often. Good on extra points. That offense is not in position to give the field goal kicker a lot of work. But Grant Fitzsimmons with a 27-yarder. And Rochester has a 38-21 lead. They are going to go for 2 here.
No, they're going to kick it, aren't they? No, Downey
right.
is out there with the tee.
All right.
And Mitchell's there.
So Downey will be the holder again. Good snap and hold. Kick is up. It is good. Lanphier's at the 60 mark. They're at the 60 mark with 2:20 to play in the game. They lead it 60-28. Back in a minute.
Kickoff for Lanphier.
Over Lincoln. 60-28. Kick goes out of bounds on the near side of the field. Lincoln will take over. They're going to mark this off, right? Kick one out of bounds.
No, just go to the 35.
At the 35.
Just take it over at the 35. Or make them kick it again.
Right.
Lincoln score, or the Lanphier scoring drive. What?
We're going to hope they're not going to make them kick it again with this score.
5 plays, 41 yards, used 2 minutes and 1 second at 2:20 of the fourth quarter. Corey Anderson with the 4-yard touchdown run, and Detrick Mitchell with the point after, and Lanphier leads 60-28.
I have not, in my 13 years here, seen Lincoln or Lanphier put up 60 on the football field. They put up 60 plenty of times in the basketball court. You can read all about this game, the recap of it from Jim Rupert in the State Journal-Register tomorrow. And Lincoln takes over. 1st down and 10 up the middle to the 37-yard line, 38, maybe the 39. Well, that's a good spot. 39-yard line. 2:04 to play.
Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 44.
PA guy having a little trouble with the yard markers. He's got that one at the 44.
Yeah. 2nd down and 6. 1:42 to play in the game. Handoff up the middle. This time the big fullback, Griffin Pollock, takes it across the 45 near the 48-yard line.
First down, Lincoln.
After the game, we'll name the Amberjack Alehouse players of the game from both of these two teams. We know who the player of the game for Lanphier will be.
1st and 10 Lincoln from their own.
We'll also name the Subway sub of the game tonight. And we'll let Jim Rupert picked that one.
He'll be down on the field interviewing coaches when that comes up, so you can handle that.
Pitch on the right side to one of the tailbacks, the backup tailback. I'm going to butcher this name, but I think it's Zach Podunajec. Podunajec.
Well, Bobby V told me how to say that one too, but I wasn't paying attention on that one.
.39 seconds left. On the rollout. Throw to the near side of the field. It was incomplete, intended for Kobe Bottrell, the 5'10 sophomore. Clock stops with 29 seconds left, 3rd down and 9. Well,
I'm going to head on down, big boy.
Turn your mic off.
It's all yours. I'll be back up.
All right. I'll take it from here. 29 seconds left. Backups are in all around. This has been a blowout, although the score, the game and how competitive it was is not reflective of this score. Lanphier opened it up in the 3rd quarter. And another pass from Lincoln incomplete. It'll set up a 4th down and 9 with 25 seconds left.
From the 49-yard line.
Backup quarterback is Garrett Eilts, 5'9" and a sophomore. Comes in from getting the play call from Andy McDonald. Well, we thought this would be a confidence boost the way that both of these teams came out and played. Each of them scored in their opening. There was 4 touchdowns in the 1st quarter. Then 1 touchdown in the 2nd quarter, and then Lanphier opened it up in the 3rd quarter. Eilts going to unload down the sideline. It is picked off by Lanphier, and that's a fitting end to this football game. Devontae Hall with the interception at the Lanphier 35-yard line. The Lions offense will come out on the field and take a knee, and they'll take their first victory back to the locker room here in 2013. We'll recap the scoring for you in this game. Lanphier with 4 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. And most of the other games are coming to an end. A final out of the Sangamo tonight. Williamsville 52, North Mac 20. Adam Stark keeping tabs on all those back at the studio. And Downey will take the snap and take the knee, and Lanphier gets its first win of 2013. And their first win in a year and a half. They went 0-9 last year. The Lions can celebrate a victory tonight at Memorial Stadium. They win it 60-28 over the Lincoln Railers. Post-game show, Saputo's post-game show coming up next. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. Be back on 96.7 The Boss.
Lanphier would like to thank all the fans that come out tonight. Please be safe going home.